We're joining you for
You're
2 hours,
joining me.
3 hours.
Pull people in, but I can't get out. It's a weird bit of lore there.
I wonder why none of the other VTubers actually mention that they're trapped in the internet.
I know, right? Because they're all animals. Everybody's an animal. They're trapped in the wilderness. That's everybody's VTuber.
The wilderness of the internet.
The wilderness, the world wilderness web.
Actually, is there a spider VTuber?
I would.
Is she the one catching everyone?
There is an animal everything VTuber. I guarantee it.
The anemone
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I'm not even sure I tweeted everything out right. I'm second guessing it all now. Like, did I do this right?
Aw. You put on the cover. You got the.
Okay, everything's there. I got
first
the
link.
link. All right.
Aren't we all good?
The episode number's right. I've been doubting everything today for obvious reasons.
Aw.
Like, I checked the temperature of the chicken that I was frying earlier like 12 times.
Oh, God.
It's like, yes, that is 165. I'm probably good.
I made chicken. I just seasoned and baked some chicken breasts, and then I just ate like 3.5 chicken breasts.
Poncho Smith says that my gnarly booty stank got him tripping. Yeah. I made a few more people VIPs because they always show up to my streams. I was like, they should probably be VIPs. They always show up. It felt weird. It felt weird with Tengu being the only VIP, and I gave it to him because he gave me a bunch of money. Like, that's probably that probably comes off.
That's how VTubing works.
Hi, Connie. We're about ready to do a podcast, so enjoy. Relax. Stay a while. Kick your feet up. Have a good time.
Pull up a chair.
You should probably have a chair. I think chairs are definitely the podcast listening utensil of choice. Probably ears, too. You need those.
And your wallet.
And your wallet. Pay up, buckaroo.
You gotta start doing those members only ASMR streams.
Oh yeah, like what? Like, dude, I'm just gonna do like a members only fart stream where I just play fart sounds for 25 minutes.
I was thinking like Polly drags a tire iron across the.
I could do
ASMR
that. You know what?
microphone.
I do have a tire iron.
Ooh.
So I can make this. I could do tire iron ASMR.
Yeah.
If that's what people want, they can have. Instead of the dumb music thing that I'm gonna do that nobody's gonna show up for. I'll do tire iron ASMR.
Yeah.
Brett's like, yeah, I'll show up for that.
I've listened to some pretty cursed ASMR streams.
Like when you get to ASMR about, being strangled, that's kind of like,
that's where my brain goes immediately. Yeah.
We're here. This is where we're going to be.
The plastic bag ASMR.
Yeah.
Over your head.
I think that's a whole category on DL site.
I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. Oh, Lordy. VTubers. What are they? What are they doing?
We just don't know.
I will never figure them out.
But you are one.
Oh, God, I forgot!
But then again, what's harder to figure out than ourselves?
Exactly. When can we truly know ourselves?
When do you get a model update with cat ears? I
was actually thinking of talking to my modeler and rigger about some new outfits. So that's
excellent.
I don't need cat ears, but I do have ideas.
No, every VTuber.
You know what? I think VTube Studio actually just comes with cat ears as a prop that I can put in. Like, let me look here. Let me see here. I bet this
jeez.
damn thing has cat ears. Hold on. Oh no, we're going way behind the scenes now. You can see my interface for how this program works and everything. Uh-oh!
I'm gonna have to actually look at the stream,
Oh, go for it.
which means my internet will fucking die.
Yeah! Alright, let's see. They got beds. Of course they do. They got beverages. Cat blankets. Do we have cat ear? Cat ear! Black, yellow... Cat tail, just black and yellow. Yeah, we got
Nice.
cat ear. Hold on, I'll put these dumb things on. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see what this... What do these even look like? Oh no, I have to do it one at a time. I have a cat. There is a singular cat ear. One. Oh, no, wait. No, oh, no, we're just messing everything up now. Oh, it's all going to hell. I'll put it on. Hold on. Pinning things to models is very... It's finicky in this thing, so... There. Exactly one cat ear.
Nice.
There. It's so stupid! It works, yeah. No, we ain't gonna... I'm not doing cat ears. We'll put it in the trash can down there.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh wow, little animated trash can.
Yeah, just a little animated trash can. Oh! Yeah, so we did that, didn't we? Penguin Polly is next. Yeah, we'll do that. So... Yeah, they got like everybody's got those blankets now for when they do watch-alongs. They just have those in the program. It's like, yeah, those come standard.
Oh, you need the gamer controller.
Oh yeah, like they don't have that. Like I don't have a gamer controller. I have to draw one. I have to like because that's how all of my stuff is gonna be now. Is I'm just gonna draw it badly. Draw all of my own bad-looking props.
I mean, I've seen VTubers do that.
I mean,
just the most MS Paint. I mean, some pretty big ones.
Have you seen Corone? Like she does it all the time. It's great.
I know. Like, there's definitely a charm to the jank.
Right, there absolutely is. I appreciate it. Like that. Like my entire the whole damn living room thing that I drew. Like that's jank. It's awesome. It works.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I can like put different pictures in every stream. And I do. I use different pictures every time. So can't say I don't put effort into this. Can't say I'm doing it to mock it when I'm working this hard. I'm grinding this hard.
On that VTuber grind.
I'm on that VTuber grind. I want to be told that I'm not actually a VTuber though. I want somebody to do that and be like, you can't because you're not anime or something. I'm waiting for that to be the to be the standard by which you're judged. Is you can't be a VTuber unless you're anime or something. I always run into these weird pockets of people, so I'm waiting to run into that weird pocket of people that have these.
You've attracted a lot of.
I attract
stuff to that effect over the years. I
attract weirdos sometimes.
That's your motto.
Yeah. Hi, I attract weirdos. I'm Polly the Good Stuff plushie.
Got two of them in the podcast right now.
Hey, these are my favorite weirdos though.
Aww.
These are weirdos that I want to be around on a consistent basis.
Yay.
These are weirdos that I might want to do something like host a podcast with. What? Welcome to episode 145 of the Sockscast. Hey, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and just drop an advanced warning. The next time we do a podcast, we're going to be telling you people to get your Games of the Year lists ready. So use this time wisely. That way you can get in ahead of the game, have it already done, and get it ready to send in. Because we're going to be announcing when and where to send all that stuff off to next episode. So yeah, that's all you needed is just a nice stark reminder that 2021 is almost over and we are 1 year closer to death. It's great. How y'all doing? Doing great? You are happy with all that knowledge? I hope your eyes sure
You dropped that
am.
on me right after my birthday, though.
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it? That's always the best time to drop anything like time related to let you know, hey, check it out.
On our way.
Yeah,
There's
doing
that
good.
webcomic. I think it's Perry Fellow Bible Ship, I think. Forget
Yeah.
the exact name. Kid jumping up, I'm 13 today, and then it cuts to the Grim Reaper with a dial.
Yep.
Click.
Yep. Ah, man. Love me some Dark Hammer. But yeah, next episode we'll be getting all that stuff ready. So we're thinking we're probably going to record those episodes on December 12th. So that should give you a rough idea of how much time you have to get us your list. But next time we'll be dropping all the info on where to send all that stuff and how to compile it. And it'll be fun. But good stuff. All right. So.
Oh, and just to be clear, that's going to be 3 entries.
Yep.
Not too long.
Yep.
And it can be any game you played this year. It doesn't have to be a game that came out this year.
Yeah. That's how we've always done it here. So man, if you really played a bunch of Bosconian this year, and you want to put Bosconian on your Game of the Year list, for one, we're best friends now. But two, you can do that even though Bosconian was released in like 1982. I'll allow it. I really like Bosconian, you guys.
Excellent.
It's a very good video game.
Bosconian.
Most people converted them into missile command boards, unfortunately. So finding actual Bosconian boards is pretty hard because they all got converted to missile command because it was a real easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember I remember looking this up the last time you talked about it.
I talk about this game a lot. Because I have it on one of those Jack's Pacific Namco games. And, I would literally just take that on trips everywhere I go. Or just sit down and, okay, I'm just going to play an afternoon of Bosconian on this thing. And it's not an arcade perfect version. The arcade version, it's got, voice... It's got, early voices, synthesization and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, from, 1981. It's pretty impressive. But, yeah. Bosconian's great. I don't know how we got on Bosconian, but... I'll take any opportunity I can to talk about the very good video game Bosconian.
Legit.
Yeah, it's legit.
How does it compare with Sinistar?
I like Bosconian more because it's not bullshit like Sinistar is.
I saw the map on the side and I was like, this looks like Sinistar.
Yeah, Sinistar is literally made to just eat your money, whereas Bosconian is you can actually play a fun video game.
Okay.
Yeah, I admire everything about Sinistar's presentation. I just think playing it is an absolute nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Developed and manufactured by Williams Electronics.
Yeah. Williams Electronics, a lot of their games have very similar... if you play that and you play, Defender, things like that, they have very similar kind of, really fast, herky-jerky controls, and they're there to eat your quarters really fast, so, yeah. They never really got out of that. All of their games, from start to finish, just always kind of felt like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I admire that
Joust
vision.
and Robotron.
Yeah, and those games are that. Those games, Robotron is fantastic. But also so is Berserk. That if you had to ask me which I like more between Berserk and Robotron, why are we having this conversation?
I was letting you know, but I'm this is derailed before the first stop.
Man,
I played a good chunk of Berserk a little while back.
Yeah,
I really liked I really liked. I had a long phase of playing arcade score attack games where there's not really an end. You just play until you die. Mm-hmm. I got really into the good ones I could find for iPhone. So I played just a shit ton of Super Hexagon and Ziggurat.
Yeah.
And then that got me intrigued on the other ones, but it's a little trickier when you can't easily play them on the go for me.
Yeah. Hey, are you like me in that you want to make a game like that sometime?
Sometime. It's hard for me to even picture what it would look like.
I have ideas and I have scraps of projects in Game Maker ready to go, but it's just this one doesn't feel quite right, or maybe I could take this idea and combine it with this idea and make it work. I'll probably I actually did do a score attack game if you think about it. I did Junkyard Dave Eats a Lot of Shrimp. That's true. That is a score attack game.
I actually tried making one in 2013 right before and I was trying and it didn't feel right, and then I did Quarantine and I was little story games.
Yeah. Quarantine,
so it's I think that was the last time I tried making a score attack game.
Quarantine, your most relevant game ever.
Of course.
We'll be playing that sometime. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Me, you, and Rhett, we're gonna get together and we're gonna play some of your old games. It'll be great.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So, to my immediate virtual right, he'll scare the pants off you, but that's only because you'll like what's coming next. It's Rhett.
Hello.
Hey.
This is like the longest into a podcast it's been getting to the introductions.
Is it really? It just depends on how I cut it, really.
I know, but
because I could really just start it.
It could be even longer.
I could just start it at the weirdos part because I don't know that all of that VTube stuff up front makes much sense if you just tune into that. So if I just cut it at weirdos, it's really only been like 5-6 minutes.
I mean, I think you did your introduction 8 minutes ago.
Maybe.
Because then you talked about Game of the Year, and then you talked about Bosconian.
What even is time anymore, though? Really?
Oh my god.
Really?
Realizing that 2021 is almost over, I was just like, fucking what? Like, I saw a thing. I can't believe I'm going back to VTubers again, but it was like remembering a thing that happened last December and feeling like it was just like a month ago.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck?
It's gonna be so fucked up next March when the pandemic will have been going on for a whole year.
Oh god, don't do this to me! Don't do this to me! Oh my god.
This even happened to my mom. She was like, Alex Trebek died like 6 months ago. I'm like,
no. Oh god. Is this just like, is this just us getting old, or is this literally like the world is so fucked up right now that time has literally become like a viscous goop?
No, I saw so much this March about like what the hell is happening. How are we like? It feels like a time looper.
How are we processing any of this? We're not. We're not. We are
literally not.
We are living.
We're trapped.
We are trapped in real time trauma.
We're trapped in a berserk maze.
Oh no!
We're getting chased by Evil Otto.
Evil Otto, come save me, please. I know that Evil Otto touching me is my inevitable doom, but it's just like, he has a smiley face. It's probably not so bad to get zapped out of existence by a smiley face. Right? Is that too dark?
That's fine.
Oh, Rhett, you're good you're ready for a podcast though.
I am like a little more than usual. Weirdly enough.
You're way more ready for a podcast than me, so you get to pick up my slack this time.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, it's up to you now. It's not really big shoes to fill. It's fine. I just don't have
your poly feet are very, very small.
Yes. Yeah, you've seen them. Yeah, I showed them on the first stream. They're very small. They're very tiny. To my immediate virtual left, he's one skeleton in his closet away from being officially classified as a mass murderer. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
Hey. How's it going?
That's a good intro.
How's it going?
Doing well.
Murder.
Got a lot of nice things to talk about. I had a very
murder boy.
That's me. That's my brand.
That is.
Had a very busy month, not necessarily media wise, but it's
that's kind of like that's basically where I've been the last 3 weeks. Is that I did one thing a whole lot. We'll probably end up talking about that, I imagine, because it's a pretty good thing to be talking about. But I didn't really do much else, so we'll see. But you are primed and ready for a podcast. You are primed.
Absolutely.
Primed and
I got my tea, I got my blanket. I'm content.
Primed
ready
and
to go.
Primed and ready. Huh? Primed and ready.
Ollie was forcing that one no matter what.
Yeah, it's getting through. I'm going to say it. Doesn't matter.
It's a dreadful pun.
It is dreadful, but it's the spirit of it's the season.
Or it was a super pun.
All I want for Christmas is you.
That was a very good cutout. Rhett, what have you been up to?
It's not your podcast, John. Polly decides.
Rhett, what have you been up to?
Okay.
I wonder if did Polly cut out for you too?
Yeah.
In the middle of that.
Wow, you just did not want to hear the Christmas song, apparently.
It just went, is you. All
Just
right.
done. Perfect.
Just God saying, all right, Rhett.
I'm gonna blow your minds.
Uh-oh.
I have a piece of media that I literally did not tweet about. I always say I'm gonna do this,
And you end up doing it anyway,
and then break immediately.
Or you talk to somebody about it in DMs.
Yep. Absolutely nobody knows about this one.
Oh,
shit.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna think I'm joking.
Oh.
I watched Squid Game.
What? What? Did the zeitgeist catch you, or is it something that just seemed really interesting?
So, there was definitely the zeitgeist portion.
Oh, right.
But a lot of it was
Yeah.
two VTubers I follow also watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did a podcast and talked about it for 3 hours, so you wanted to be in.
Nobody actually talked about it to each other yet, but like Rene specifically was like, I got into it because it reminded me a lot of the anime Kaiji, and I've talked about that one
Kaiji
in the past.
Yeah. I know Kaiji.
So I watched like the first 2 episodes of this and was like, Jesus Christ, they just fucking made live action Kaiji. It's like the exact same setup.
You have my interest.
Except I think that show's kind of better.
Oh.
Like, I didn't dislike Squid Game, but I was like, yep, it's a, death game, battle royale kind of thing. It's not really a battle royale, it's just lots of people get killed during these silly games.
I saw one ad, and it was the red light, green light one.
Yeah, that's the first episode.
Cool.
If the red light sees you, they just shoot you.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, I think that was kind of my problem with it, in that it's really kind of merciless with violence, where it's just like all these scores of actors just getting gunned down, like, and doing dramatic fake death poses and stuff, and then occasionally they'll like cut to the ground and like, oh, that dude's brain is on the ground. Like, it's a little nasty.
What an interesting thing to be a huge zeitgeist hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
I'm sure the violence is definitely like what's gotten Americans into it. I just think like it's really, really predictable which characters are going to last a while, because they get so much focus during like pre-game, like before the game, the real life scenes.
They get backstory.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in Kaiji, it's just him that they focus on, and he meets other players in the game. In this, there's a whole like episode dedicated to, and these 7 other players that we're going to focus on, and like how their circumstances led them to the game. So you just kind of know they're not going to spend like 20 minutes, a long time developing or like setting up these characters to just immediately off them in a sudden thing.
No.
Which, again, would have been pretty shocking if, like, hey, this character's story, they just fucking... It ends here.
I mean, you could do that once or twice for shock, give somebody like an entire episode and then, oh, we just killed you at the end.
They don't do that. And then sometimes they'll introduce the character in the game, and I'm just like, you are so... Those are the ones I'm like, you are so
You're
eating
done.
it next episode. And then they fucking do, and I was just like, yeah, okay. So it's a fine show if you're kind of into that genre. The funny thing is, like... The twist in the last episode that people seem to be really mad about was one of my favorite parts, thinking back to how it recontextualizes a lot of the show afterwards, where I thought the show was pretty stupid, kind of like schlocky the whole time, and then with some of the knowledge you gained by the end, I was like, okay, this was smarter than I was giving it credit for. Like, there's still something there. But then there's also kind of a season 2 tease, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean, you can't... Like, they knew going in that was going to be something that was going to catch on, I think. So getting
I don't know. Like,
really?
When has, like, a Korean, produced...
I mean, I get that,
like
but this just feels like something they knew they were going to throw so much money behind and promotion behind that it was just going to take off. Like, it just felt primed
I don't think
to
they could have ever succeed as big as it has. Netflix had some crazy stat like 1 in 4 Americans have watched it. Which, granted, apparently their watch stat is like busted, where it means like you literally watch 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy stat to fudge.
But 1 in 4, even opening the first episode and watching 30 seconds, is still insane.
Yeah, like when you think about that, there's at least, what, like 70 people in America?
70.
So, like, that's like, what, 14, 15 people when you math it out.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Gun down and red light, green light.
Gun down and red light, green light. Like 15 of them. It's gross, man. Can't believe they do that.
Honestly.
It's funny. There's like 450 competitors in the game, and like over half of them die in red light, green light.
Jeez. Yeah, it's a good way to weed people out, though, man.
Yeah.
They're
It's
American Idol first round in this shit.
It's like, hey, we're not keeping 400 extras around here.
No.
We're getting a lot of you off immediately. Yeah, so that's a thing that I watched. I don't know.
Yeah,
don't have a whole lot to say about it because I think if I was to talk more specifically about it, like the spoilers would kind of...
Right. It's probably not something
really...
you want to spoil right now,
yeah.
seeing that it's still fresh on the mind. And
it's
people
so
are watching.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I watched the other hot, big new release.
Yeah?
I watched the new Love Live.
Yes! The same thing. Basically the same thing as Squid Game, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's...
I remember... Actually, that does remind me of one thing. I had a really vicious nightmare after watching the first episode of Squid Game.
Oh, no!
Like, just one of the most dark and depressing dreams I've ever had.
Oh, dear.
But Squid Game wasn't the most recent thing I'd watched because I'd watched an episode of Love Live right after, thinking
that would ease it off a little bit.
Yeah, I was just like, this is the healing anime after the extremely depressing violent show.
Mm-hmm.
So like for a week, it was just like episode of Squid Game, episode of Love Live to achieve balance.
That's very good.
The newest season, Love Live Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually think it was that good compared to the ones in the past.
Isn't that... Wait, is this a show that you were watching with all of the facial expressions, though?
I mean, having a couple funny facial expressions does not actually make a show good.
I mean, that's all it takes for some people, though. If you can post about it on Twitter, it's a good television show.
But then also looking back at my threads for season 1 and Nijigasaki, the third one.
You like Nijigasaki so much.
I had so many more screenshots from those where, like, even desperately trying to find funny faces in the new one, even that started coming up kind of dry.
Oh, no.
To where I didn't really post much about the show in the second half because I was just like, yep, this is... So, Love Live, the original season, 9 girls, the school is closing, they form an idol group.
Mm-hmm.
Love Live Sunshine, the second one, 9 girls, the school is closing, they form an idol group.
Noticing a pattern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nijigasaki is actually something different, so I'll skip that one. This is the one that goes back to the pattern.
Wait, is Nijigasaki like a Love Live thing? Or is it its own thing? Because I always just thought Nijigasaki was just its own thing.
It kind of is. So that one is more it's based on the mobile game. And they don't form an actual group in that one. They're all solo idols.
Right, okay.
So that's why there's much less of an overall plot.
Okay.
Because it's just the idol club that they're all in.
Yeah.
And a lot of harem hijinks with Player-chan.
And there's some player... So they made a player character in the game, and then they gave her, an actual character in the show, and she's kind of, like, into everybody.
Yeah!
It's pretty good. So the new one, Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
5 girls.
Oh.
Not 9.
Oh!
There's only 5 this time.
That could be a positive change.
That could be good. We could get
more.
We could get more character development in here. That could be nice.
Okay, so here's the thing. I saw somebody say, oh, the Western fan base invents all these delusions, like the fact that there's 5 characters means there'll be more character development. I didn't have to tell you guys literally anything about the show, and that's just the most obvious thought to come to mind.
Because that's how I would do a television show.
Yeah. It's such a no-brainer, because that was my thought going into it as well.
So wait, was the person saying like you're stupid for demanding and you're entitled for expecting more character development?
Pretty much.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's only 5 girls this time.
Mm-hmm.
The school is having some troubles. They form an idol group.
I mean, what else are you gonna do, right?
It's so funny though, just like, I guess the twist is that the main girl, like the focus one in this time, isn't the one who like starts the idol club. She's just going to school, and then some other girl is like, "Want to be idols with me? Want to be idols with me?" And I'm just like, I know that this is Love Life, but it's just so immediate and forceful.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's just what these shows are, huh?
You're just like rubbing our face in it at this point.
Yeah. So there's only 5 girls, and I just think they didn't feel like they got naturally more development than in the past seasons, which is weird because you think they would.
Yes, you would.
Because they have twice as much screen time. Instead, it kind of just felt like because it was the same character dynamics the entire time, I just kind of got bored of them. Where it's just like, these 2 characters are paired and these 2 characters are paired, and they just have every scene together, and it just gets kind of exhausting.
Oh, God. They just like, yikes.
I didn't think this show was awful, but it was just like...
Like, you're kind of just like, you're just churning this shit out now. And it's
when I just kind of step back and objectively be like, this one just did not hit the same notes as the others did.
Yeah.
Because I watched the original season most recently, and that one still, like, completely hit, even though it was originally... Yeah.
Which you didn't like as much the first time you watched it. Like, it hit harder than the new time you've seen it, right?
No, my history with the original is I watched the first 3 episodes and then cringed into the ground and dropped it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You dropped it the first time you watched it, and then
because I was not ready
after Sunshine and Nijigasaki, you were ready.
Yeah. I was not into the actual idol lifestyle at that point.
Which has fully changed at this point.
Yeah, it was definitely... It was try to watch the original, cringe horribly, drop. Watch Sunshine as like a goof, end up actually liking it. Where it was,
that's the way it goes. That's how it always goes.
It's similar to you with Ruby when you were like, wouldn't it be funny if I watched, and then liking it? So then Sunshine was definitely, I'm going to watch this as a joke. Oh shit, I like it at this time. Then by Nijigasaki, it was 100% unironic, just enjoying it.
Excellent. Yeah, you really like Nijigasaki. I remember you talking a lot about this one. I do not remember you talking a lot about this one.
Yeah, because it just kind of flew by in the last week. Again, it's fine. I don't know. It's just, I think a lot of it comes down to the characters just not being as interesting as previous seasons.
Right.
And there's less of them. Because, like, the thing I noticed about the first 2 seasons, actually all 3 of the previous seasons, is that every character would have, like, their one strong gimmick or interest, and then they're also an idol. So, like, Sunshine has, like, the girl who likes swimming, or the girl who's, like, into fitness.
The girl that likes rice. The girl that likes horns.
I mean, at least there's, like, the girl who likes rice, that's not actually her character. She's super into idols. She is, like, the weeb of idols of the school. Like, she does have more than just, I like rice.
I like rice was very funny, though.
Yeah, like, just her
rice
liking
gags are pretty good.
Yeah.
But, so the characters in the new one, though, their interests are all actually more relevant to being an idol. Where, like, the main girl, Canon, she likes singing. And then her friend likes dancing.
Boy, those are good. That's good aptitude.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you be just like, one girl likes construction work and she wants to be an idol. Let's figure this one out.
This girl wants to be a dentist.
Boom! Like, that's the idol group I want, where all of their interests are counterintuitive to being an idol, but they want to do it anyway.
I think that might be Precure. Actually. Okay, continue, Rhett.
That does sound accurate. Yeah. And then there's, like, the girl who wants to be in show business, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then there's one girl who just really likes idols again.
Oh.
And then one girl who wants to be an idol because her mom was, I guess.
Man, one of these seasons they've really got to do. One girl's the killer. I couldn't save them. I couldn't save anybody.
Season 1, there's 9 girls. By season 2, there's only 5.
There's only 5 now. Big dinky dinky.
Who's the sassy baba?
They played the red light, green light game.
Oh no!
And then, oops. I like Poncho's the girl that blinks, the girl that breathes oxygen.
These are all very good.
So I don't know. I was just watching it, just like, yeah, this one's just not hitting as hard. And then I finished it and was just like, really, really let down by the last episode, where it was like, this doesn't even feel like a last episode.
Yeah.
It was just like, show is over now. And like, this season's only 12 episodes instead of 13, which you wouldn't think would be a huge deal, but it does feel like if it just had a little more time to breathe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the weirdest part. This one has by far the highest score on my anime list.
I think that
that
maybe
might be recency
bias, and I think you'll probably see that come down. Really,
There's definitely recency.
Go ahead. I said let's hope.
There's recency bias, but then even reading the forums, people were really high on it, like a lot of positive reviews, and I get that like usually later seasons of a thing will have a higher score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, this one just feels, to me, such a step backwards and in the wrong direction. Especially because Nijigasaki, the budget on that one is fucking insane.
Right.
And like this one does not actually have like...
It's the Simpo Gear thing again, where I literally have no idea why season 2 is the one everybody likes when it's the most inconsistent nonsense. Other than the fact that the ending goes hard...
It goes real hard, Polly.
Even though it doesn't need to.
Love Live sounds like new Love Live does not.
It sounds like it just goes out on a big wet fart.
Here's the really infuriating thing about the new Love Live. You never actually see the rival group compete.
What?
So they just have these rivals who are really friendly and nice to them, and then you never actually get to see them perform.
The whole point of these shows is idol groups, and like seeing those performances, even the girls that you don't know or care about, like seeing that they're just
like, it's always a thing in the mid-season where you see the rivals perform and they're on a different level from
and they blow everybody away, right? Like even
that's how it goes.
Even dumb fucking cheerleader movies have that like in the middle where like, you know, they meet the cheer squad that's like doing backflips off the top of the building and shit.
Like, and this one hits the same beats like on an episode per episode basis, where like episode 3 is the first group performance, like in all 3 of them, the main ones.
Yeah.
So to not have the rival episode in like 5 or 6 is just like, that's the one thing you really shouldn't have missed, guys.
Yeah, that's.
So I was really frustrated by my anime list, like loving this show and being
believe me, I feel you on a lot of this.
But then, so here's the payoff. I went to the Love Live Reddit. And looked at the recent...
They know what's up!
And they were pretty disappointed by episode 12.
And Rhett wanted to post that he was disappointed, and they wouldn't let him, because he's too new.
The viewers of culture on Reddit. Not my anime list.
They were just like... really anticlimactic episode. They made the snow halation episode with none of the drama, and I was just like, yes, thank you.
Like, even I don't watch these shows, and even I know the snow halation episode, so it's just like...
They do that again, except there's no tension.
Oh,
and then they
God!
have the main character.
Did you hate it, like, when things, like, trot out the greatest hits and still manage to screw it up?
They also have her, like...
Oh, God. No, I
also
just think that's funny. I just think that's great.
So it's like the whole episode is framed around the season 1 thing, and then the main character like makes a direct quote reference to Sunshine as well, and it's just like, oh, you're really trying to bring back the greatest hits here and just not hitting.
You're trying to make me feel the thing again by just saying, look, you're just being Family Guy. Remember that time snow halation? Hey, remember that time snow halation? Peter.
This got me feeling bleak, and I went and checked the Ava 3.0 plus 1.0.
Oh,
thing
no!
To see if the recency bias has died at all. And A, it's still very much higher than End of Ava. And B, the forum says one of the topics was, what other works would you like to see in the Ava universe now that the rebuilds have ended? Just short circuit.
I wish my model could puke.
I want to see them all as idols.
Oh, God, no, they're going to do it. They're going to do that. That's going to be a thing. That'll be a thing.
9 girls. They're all Rey clones.
Oh, God. See, like, that's what Evangelion is now, is it's just a marketing... It's just a marketing machine. So them doing it's like something with idols would literally make the most sense. And they'll do it.
Done that with Higurashi yet? I feel like they have. They must have.
I mean, they have the phone game stuff, so they're going that route. There's not been like an idol Higurashi thing yet, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get any immediate stuff on the Google search.
I guess for the new one, the real cynical read of there's only 5 members now is that somebody goes, that's just to make it easier to schedule these concerts.
Probably.
That they don't have to get all 9 members together now. They just have to worry about 5 people's schedules.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's bleak. I really like getting the Love Live, the Idol show updates. It's this whole world.
Yeah.
Next year, Nijisaki's getting a new season.
Yes. Finally,
and then,
I'm actually like happy in my soul for you.
Yeah, like happy, but like, can they like mess it up this badly?
I think I don't know. I have hope for that one, and even if they screw it up, they still have the first season.
You still have season 1. Yeah, I think that like too many people get caught up on the idea that like the sequel to something being bad discredits the first one for some reason.
The funny thing is that like before this one, the new one, my favorite season was Sunshine Part 1, and my least favorite season was Sunshine Part 2.
Yeah.
So I might revisit Sunshine Season 2 at some point.
Okay.
To be like, hey, you're not the worst one anymore. Congrats. That's the Love Live update.
The Love Live update. We are always happy to have these.
Polly.
What?
What you been up to?
Oh, man. Well, I'll tell you what I've been up to. I've played a couple of video games, but not a whole lot. Like, my segment's going to be probably, thankfully, short for everybody. You won't have to hear much from me. So, this will be a good episode. We're going to finally do good numbers. I just played a couple of video games. I played Nom Nom Nami's game, Drowning. Which was like
that was nice.
That is a very
great title.
It's great. Well, I mean, it's funny. You don't really drown.
John's out.
Yeah. John was very disappointed when he figured that out.
But there are sort of mermaids.
Sort of mermaid. They're cute green girls that you like. Literally within the first 30 seconds, you're just like, "Yo, this girl's got her tongue down my throat." Great. Let's do it. That's how you breathe underwater, is if a green girl kisses you.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's how you get. That's how you have to breathe underwater. Is that the green girl has to kiss you? And it's like, well, okay, I mean, fine, because otherwise, you'd be living the title of the video game.
Very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. But like, it's just this girl, like, for reasons that aren't really 100% like, they're not elaborated on like in great detail, but she like kind of ends up just diving into the ocean because it's like, hey, I'm gonna go play with the mermaids and live with them now. And you kind of go through this little arc of getting to know everybody in town. Really great writing. Just like if you've played the Lonely Wolf Treat games, it's just like, oh yeah, like this. It's this kind of writing. There's some there's some good comedy, but this one's like definitely like of a darker tone for obvious reasons. Somebody's going to the ocean, likely contemplating their suicide, which is kind of the impression that I got from the video game.
Oh yeah,
anyway.
yeah. The vibe to me is like something is very
dark, and it's
about
never
this girl's life outside the ocean.
Like she literally can only feel warmth underwater, like and being around the people down there. So, but yeah, it's a really good story though. It was way more touching than I thought it would be for only being like an hour long, and then it was only an hour long because I didn't know that you could run. So apparently it would have only been 30 minutes if I would have known that you could run. But I had a good time, like just walking around the town, talking to everybody, and then like the little bits of humor, like how you can get into the castle, like by just sneaking around through the scenery, and the girl just being like, "How did you get past my expertly crafted defense?" It's a really cute moment.
I like the party.
The party's really good. some things can change. Like I found a tiara and I gave it to a sardine, and the sardine was wearing the tiara to the party. It was very cute. And the tiara is literally just 1 pixel because it's a tiny little sardine. But and it changes in their portrait, in their text portrait too. Like, you know, like where in the message box, it was cute. They had the pixel tiara in their so that changes. So that's really cute. But yeah, it was a fun little 30-minute excursion underwater, living under the sea. Had a good time with it.
Good.
Yeah, like Nami just delivers. Like, I mean, I think it's safe to say that she's pretty consistent. So, like, if you've liked anything like Lonely Wolf Treat, you could probably go play Drowning, and know that you'll have a good time.
Did you play another Nami game?
I did, but I didn't know if you wanted to bring that up or I'd leave that on me. So I might just leave that up to you and let you lead the conversation on that, because I know we both played that one. So I'll let you take the reins on that one.
Sounds good.
The only other thing I played was a game called Halloween Forever. It's a cute little 2D platformer that everybody has. Like, if you bought the bundle for racial justice and equality last year, you have it as well. But it's a cute little, like, it's not really a run and gunner, but you spit candy corn and you run. So I guess it could be a run and gunner. But you're a pumpkin boy, and
Pumpkin Boy.
He's Pumpkin Boy is so cute. I love the characters in this game. They're so good. Like this game's got a lot of charm to it. It's not like the hardest platformer that I've ever played or anything. It's still challenging in that, I guess, like, I don't know, like, it's weird to say legitimately beat it, because there's no real, like, reward for doing it. But, like, you start to get, like, under normal circumstances, you get 3 lives to beat the game. The whole thing, all 5 stages, and you can find a few extra lives throughout the course of it. But they also have a 99 lives mode that you can turn on. It changes nothing other than, like, if you play the Steam version, you don't get achievements. Like, whatever. But it's just this cute little, like, game. Like, it's got these cute little enemy designs that are very simple and effective. Really good level design that has multiple paths through each stage. An ass load of unlockable characters that aren't just, like, palette swaps, but they all play wildly differently.
Ooh.
Like, I unlocked a character that, like, the first character that I unlocked was a succubus, and she can literally just fly forever. Like, you can literally break the entire game on your first character unlock if you do, like, and that's wild. And you've got, like, Butternut Squash Boy, where all, like, his attacks do double damage because they explode on contact, and they leave a trailing effect that does damage over time, and nobody else has that. I unlocked a red-haired character that is a cute girl that has a spread gun. It felt really aimed toward me, so I did my second.
That feels targeted.
Wild.
And I was just like, what? It turns out that she is actually a guest character from, like, this horror platform series that some dude made in, like, 2008 and 2009.
I think that's something to check out.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to look those up because apparently they've got some real, like, mid to late 2000s indie horror energy, and I'm like, yeah, I think I want to experience that.
Excellent.
But like, Halloween Forever is just really good. It's just this cute little 2D platformer, very simple, 5 stages, won't take you more than maybe a half hour to complete. Just fun, smart boss design, really simple pattern-based stuff, nothing you're gonna, like, you know, go crazy over. It's a satisfying challenge trying to beat it in 3 lives. Like, I just think, like, hey, I played a really cool platformer that I got. Like, I had played it a little bit last year, like, when you got the bundle, because, like, when everybody got the bundle, like, you know, you oh, cool, I have 500 games to check out now. Let's look at something.
Not even 500.
No, it's
on
like,
the page now. It's like 1900.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They just kept adding, apparently. Like, I go there now, like, when I, like, I decided to start using streams to dig through that a little bit. So that's how I ended up playing Halloween Forever. I also played Parsnip, which was a point-and-click adventure game that's sort of I guess it's the first in a series of visual novels that I thought seemed interesting. Like, they're kind of like cosmic horror stuff, and they kind of delve into that, but also just, like, diverse LGBT cast of characters. I thought, like, hey, that kind of looks cool to check out sometime. But I was just like, okay, there's this point and click visual, like there's this point and click game you might want to play first, and it's just about this annoying bunny that needs to bake cake, and you end up killing everybody. And I was just like, I don't know. This didn't land. I'm not sure what this was trying to do. Like, I hope that that's not a sign of things to come. But the visual novels seemed a little more up my alley. From kind of like peeking a little bit at people that have Let's Played them, they seemed a little more, oh, okay, this is a little more what I'm here for. Not like bad. Like, I don't even know what Parsnip was going for, really. Like, it looks gorgeous. Like, it's got an incredible visual style that's traditionally hand animated and everything. It looks like cell animation. Like, it's a very pretty game, and the backgrounds are gorgeous and all that stuff. But the game itself is just like, yeah, okay, I'm just doing adventure game stuff, and none of this dialogue is landing at all. And those are like the hard games, like when you find yourself in the middle of a stream doing, it's like, we may be how do I salvage this? We got through it, we did it. But it definitely made me stop and think. It's like, like, I'm gonna have to have backup plans. Like, if I'm gonna play more games blind like that, gonna need to, like, just in case there's something I play that I want to bail. Imagine getting like something shitty like Perceptions of the Dead. Remember that? You remember Perceptions of the Dead?
Sure do.
Oh, man. That was like, oh, God. It's so painful. Like, there's still clips on my channel of me being angry at that game and everything that it was doing story-wise. Man. But imagine getting into the middle of, like, trying to keep positive vibes going and then running into a game like that again and not having a backup. Oh, no.
Oops.
Parsnip wasn't that bad. But it was just kind of like weird in that it didn't feel like it had a focus. Like, it just felt like if you put funny words on screen, like, that's enough. Like, not really. Like, and the ending just felt so rushed and just like, why do you go this one? Like I don't know how we went logically from this to this. And there's this like weird like King in Yellow referencing going on, which is like a reference to a play that doesn't exist but is a part of fiction, and like I don't know why that's there because it doesn't line up at all with anything that the point and click game's doing. So it's just this weird random excerpt from the King in Yellow, and the King in Yellow is referenced a few times, but it's just like And apparently, like, that stuff makes more sense in the visual novels that I'm going to check out later. But in terms of just, like, this one-off thing that, like, looks very cool and that I finished, it was just like, oh, this is kind of... You missed the mark on that one, little dude. I don't know why I did an auto.
The characters
voice
are
there.
very cute.
The characters are, like, yeah. I like the character designs a lot.
Yeah. I'm looking at the itch page, and it's funny how like all the comments are either it crashes after 1 minute or please be aware this is actually a horror game.
Oh yeah. The thing is like I don't like there's only like one bit of horror in it, and this is just like at the end where you find out that like you baking a cake has inadvertently led to somebody being kidnapped, and then everybody dies because they ate your cake. Like, okay. I mean, I hate to spoil it, but it's literally like it's kind of whatever.
Gotcha.
I hate being negative to small people, like to small games like this. It feels bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative is that you play a bunch of little games and then you just kind of are sort of mindlessly effusive to all of them, and I feel like that's disrespectful in its own
That's
way.
not, like I said, I'm hoping that
you feel positive about it.
Like I'm hoping that like the visual novels kind of end up better. But like I said, having kind of looked at people playing those and seeing kind of a few places of where that might go, like I think that might work a little better for me. That might be a little more palatable. Feels like a little less. It feels way less whatever Parsnip's trying to do, and more like, oh, you're trying to do, spooky visual novel now. That's cool. Like with a really cool, like apparently it has a sanity system that changes how scenes play out and plays with the main character's perception of things. So that seems like that could be rad.
Yeah, I see curators and like pages that are just like, here's a bunch of small games. Here, play small games, support small creators.
And they're literally
and
not
it's just like, here's
anything
a game
about those.
Here's a game. Here's one sentence describing it from the marketing copy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's completely distant from the actual experience of playing a game because that's like messy. It gets in the way of the politics of like looking good by supporting small creators to be like
what's
to
better
actually play them.
Yeah, like looking like you support small creators and saying it a lot is definitely a hell of a lot easier than actually sitting down and playing those games, which most people don't want to do.
So I don't think you should feel bad.
Cool. I'm not going to feel bad now.
Yeah.
John Thayer fixed my Sunday evening. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's all done.
I'm the
all
best.
better. You are the best, John. And who better to lead our next segment?
Can I have one thing. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I downloaded Halloween Forever while you were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Because you were right. I did own it.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's in that bundle.
I was like, how am I going to already own this? Oh, shit. She's mentioned that bundle. I do own that.
Yeah. Halloween Forever is good shit. I think that is a fun little game. And like I said,
I have to play it tonight.
Yeah, you got
or after wait a year.
You got a few hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should be able to beat it with Pumpkin Boy. He's good. He's a good boy. Good video game. I liked it. We beat it twice on stream, so like, so like the fact that I played it twice. I played it twice because they gave me literally a Contra character when I got the online. I was like, "Are you kidding me? She's redheaded too!" Like this is
got a re-release. Oh, how nice!
Yeah, there's like a vintage release, and then there's
like a 2016 version, and then a modern version.
Yeah,
cool. Love them.
Yeah,
it's cool to revisit things like that.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a good little game. I think the only thing they added with the updated version was like when they ported it to Switch, they added like 4 new characters.
Nice.
And they're all unlocked in like the same path, so they didn't really like go out of their way to make all new paths or anything. They're just kind of like, here's one room that has 4 doors. Go into the door of the character you want to unlock this playthrough, and then continue. Yeah, that's a fun little game. You like candy corn? You like Halloween? You like pumpkin boys? There you go.
I definitely do not like candy corn, so I don't know.
Yeah, that seemed to kind of be the consensus during the streams. I don't think many people were for candy corn. So that's fine. That's valid. I
like candy corn.
I'm for it. I'm here for candy corn.
I'll eat candy corn any day.
Yeah,
put it in front of me. I'll go for it.
I will tear into a bowl of candy corn. Everybody's like,
in Halloween season, I'll werewolf down some candy corn.
Oh, that's the good stuff. Okay, yeah. Got some people with good taste in chat. Tengu and Zalaz, both big fans of the candy corn.
I'm out of here.
That's fine, Red. Like, Red, I'm not going to hold against you. It's fine. I understand why people don't like it. It's literally just like compressed sugar, I think.
Yeah.
And with the texture of wax.
With the texture of wax. It's just like, I know why people don't like it. It is like, all like on paper and in your mouth, it's pretty gross. I get it. But that's why you spit it. That's why you spit it at your enemies. It's great.
But that all comes around to our next segment, which is that I read just a fucking shit ton of Konosuba.
Yeah, you.
Right.
Oh my god, you read so much.
I have read in the last 2 months, in the last month and a half, I have read 16 light novels. Volumes.
How many pages are these?
The Konosubas are all around like 150. You
can
that's
them
up
not
in
bad.
like 2 to 3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You could chew through 150. I chewed through your book in literally under 24 hours. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're one long sitting or a couple short sittings is a Konosuba volume. Like I said, you could probably read the first 2 volumes, which cover the first season in as much time as it would take to watch the first season.
Yeah.
So that's sort of giving you the vibe here. So last time I had, last time we left off, I had just read 6 and 7, which were the first volumes that weren't animated.
Yep.
And Volume 6 introduces Princess Iris, who is extremely precious and important and good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Volume 7 is just like the most goes ridiculously hard darkness volume.
Oh.
Like, the climax of that volume is my favorite thing in Konosuba.
Oh.
I think.
Oh.
It involves crashing a wedding. It's very good.
Oh. Isn't she like... Isn't she betrothed to someone?
It's very good.
Okay, I thought so. Okay. Because I think that, like, if they're doing another movie, I think that's what they're doing. Because, like, the first movie was about Megumin, and then, like, since this is a dedicated darkness... that
would be great.
I think that they're probably going to animate that.
I would love to see Volume 6, just kind of breeze over Volume 6, go to it, and if they get more, great, but do Volume 7 as a movie. That would be stunning. Because that was that's still, I've read up to Volume 14, and Volume 7 is still my favorite.
Nice.
Not nice.
Not nice?
Because I've read 7 more volumes, and Volume 7 is still the high point.
Like, does that mean that, like, they're bad, or are they middling? Like, is something going wrong here?
It means it just kind of keeps going the way it was going, and it doesn't really evolve or do anything.
No, because I was kind of hoping, because, like, that is a show that, like, when you watch the anime, it does evolve. You feel it kind of moving into these new territories, and, like, the way that you were describing the light novels, it sounded like that was going to be a trend, but now you're kind of settled into, okay, I'm successful now, I can just write stories in this universe. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, there's 3 more volumes. I'm sure they're gonna, I think they kind of set up like, okay, we're gonna do a little more plot now. It's actually funny, they have a character give you the Demon King's tragic backstory, except it just happens off screen, and then Cosmo's like, wow, that was very moving. She's like, yes.
I like that.
It's like, it's so committed to not giving a shit about, like, traditional plotting.
I love that. Like, the fact that...
Go ahead.
The fact that this is a property that can just fly in the face of tradition the way that it does.
Yeah.
The long-standing tradition of isekai.
Yeah.
It just does not give a fuck. It just keeps being a sitcom. if there's anything that develops throughout, it is the love triangle. It's Megumin, Darkness, Kazuma. That is the plot of Konosuba. And honestly, like, all the moments with that are, like, earlier on, at least especially, are like the best story parts of the series, because they're like, they dig into, like, some weirdly mature stuff. Honestly, like, they kind of talk frankly about, okay, both of us have feelings for you. Let's kind of figure out how to handle that maturely without ruining our family.
Like, how do you and how is Konosuba the one being able to kind of try and navigate this? Like, how is that? Like, how is this going to be the one that maybe gets it right?
Yeah, it's like it does some really nice stuff with that, and I really like it. I think it's dissolved into kind of farce a little bit, just gone maybe a little too long, because he makes a choice, like, very strongly for one character.
Yeah.
And then, but they keep kind of wanting to do some hijinks with the other character.
It's like, come on, you got to kind of move past it at some point. Like, you can't keep the hanger-on thing. Like, that just kind of feels like bad harem writing from the 90s.
It feels, it just doesn't feel like it's really developing the way that it should, considering I've read 14 volumes.
Yeah!
And you still have 3 more.
I still have 3 more.
I mean, for Volume 7 to have been the peak so far, the fact that you've gone on, like, twice as long as that.
Yeah.
Is just
unfortunate.
Not a whole lot of story momentum.
Yeah, like, I'm just kind of looking like, oh yeah, Volume 8, I remember that one, that was the Axis Church versus Eris Church Festival episode.
Yeah.
Like, it's cute. It feels like it could be, like, 2 episodes of the show. Number 9 is another Megumin one that actually has, like, a cool story moment. Volume 10 is another Iris one, but it feels kind of like a side story again. Another Darkness volume. And then like 2 more Megamine ones that also mostly feel like side stories. Like it's like, okay, this is the Union arc, this is the Little Sister arc, but we don't really give like a story for them. It feels very sitcom-y, and I was like kind of in love with that starting out, and now I'm kind of like,
they've dangled the carrot for so long, and they're kind of like they're like they've given you just enough of these beats for them to feel like they've evolved to a point to where they're going to go somewhere, and now they're just going nowhere.
They're it feels like they've been treading water for a while. I'm getting a little exhausted with it. It does not get less grody for the record.
mean, I would hope. Like I want my Konosuba to be fucking grody.
He continues being Kazuma.
He is a lech. He is a lech, and we love him for it.
He is absolutely a lech. I guess like you probably don't want your main character to keep saying things like, I'm not a pedophile, but
oh no,
over and over.
Oh no, Kazuma, no, don't be a right winger.
That's like a recurring. It's like, I mean, they say lolicon in the.
I mean,
book.
Yeah. They don't.
Okay. Thanks, y'all. So it continues kind of being along those lines. If you are put off by some of the grodier moments in the show, like it is not going to win you back with the books.
Oh boy, this is good for a podcast.
So that's
yeah.
You may have 3 volumes yet, but did you consider that there's also a Megaman spinoff that has another 3 volumes?
I did consider there's a Megaman spinoff that has another 3 volumes. I will visit that another day in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because this is the show left off, and I was desperate for more Konosuba because I love Konosuba
because
so
Konosuba's great, but maybe
because Konosuba's fucking great.
Maybe you've stepped too far into the void now, and we've gone like, oh no, author is complacent. Uh-oh.
And I'm Konosuba saturated now, and that's a little bit sad, but it is nice that I'll be able to kind of close the book a little bit, because it felt very like, I know there's more Konosuba, and I'm so sad that I can't. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see what the ending of the story is.
Is 17 the ending?
Yes, 17 is the ending.
Because it looks like it hasn't even come out in English yet, or Wikipedia's not updated.
Volume 15 just came out. It just showed up in the mail.
So that'll be probably next year for 16.
Oh, no, but they're both fan translated. Like, I can just go online.
And you can do that too if you wanted.
I'm so fucking stupid. Yeah, the release date for Volume 16 is February 22nd, 2022. I realized that's not the current year.
That's not the way that people are usually confused with time right now.
That's only 3 months from now. He was avoiding saying it himself, so I said it.
I just saw that date and was like, oh yes, it has come out in English. In February. I can't handle. I look at 202 and then the last digit is a mystery.
Yep, it's 202X.
Like, I'm still in like 2018 was 2 years ago. 2017 was 3 years ago.
I keep doing that. When I see things like when I read anything online, it's just like 2018. I was like, oh man, that was like a couple weeks ago.
I'm about 3 months off from being divorced as long as I was married.
Holy
that feels
fuck.
good.
That's got to be a great feeling.
So that's Konosuba. I still fucking love Konosuba.
Yeah, I didn't figure your thoughts were going to change. It's just kind of unfortunate that it's kind of settled into just being comfortable being the sitcom now, and that's kind of one.
You read all of it very quickly.
Yeah, you saturated yourself real fast, so I can see that also.
Because it was looking like, like Volume 7 to Volume whatever the newest ones are, it was like 3 or 4 years in Japan.
Yeah,
not like 3 weeks for John.
Yeah.
I mean, they just go down real smooth. Yeah. And again, the romance moments, I'm honestly still really invested.
Yay!
In how those play out. But
give Megamine hugs. That's all you got to do. There you go.
I really now, like I said, he's made a choice. The little things like, well, should we like go on a date?
Are we gonna like do stuff like How's that mess
I mean,
with the group
that's
dynamic?
exactly. But that's the big funny thing is like, should we go on a date? Should we
Yeah,
hold hands?
the
Like,
funny-
I'm like, oh,
Like that's the
Yes.
funny stuff. Is just like how does this play? Like like you're when your group dynamic is what that group's dynamic is. It's like
they're
can
so
you
afraid.
are you allowed to just express normal ass affection that's not really over the top or anything, but just like what a couple be doing?
They haven't really dug into it that much, but every scrap that I get is very good.
Yeah.
I love how Aqua is just not
I
part
love
of the
I
romance.
love that she is not. Yeah, like that's something that I never wanted to happen.
Which romance archetype am I, Kazuma? You're not a romance
You're
archetype. You're
not.
more like a pet.
You're a pet, yeah. Like I love that she is not and never became that kind of interest for Kazuma because it's too predictable for one. Like it's just that's what those things do.
It's funny because you keep getting little hints of like her internal world, like mostly just like she really likes making art.
Yeah, like
little things
she's
like
got
that
her own interests and shit. It's just
Uh-huh.
nobody gives a fuck.
But then like she is like the only utility she serves in the story is like every now and then there'll be like a dramatic moment where somebody is cursed and about to die, and she swoops in like dispel. So there's it's not just darkness early on. There's another character that's like on the verge of death. They have a very tearful like goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything. It's a quick dispel. So the way that she just sucks, like she's the way of just like taking drama and just completely undercutting it, and it's always a good joke.
Yeah. Like that's good utility character though. That's fantastic.
But she's also just like very passive and continues being useless, which is I think is a very fun evolution. Yeah, which is a nice evolution of the original joke. She's just useless.
You're just useless. Like
it's useless, but she's also very useful, and then is not appreciated at all for the ways that she's useful. But she doesn't really care. She's just kind of living her bliss.
Yeah,
it's kind of great.
Yeah.
And then there's all this angst with Darkness and Megamine, and then Aqua's just like la 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 la.
Yeah.
I think what I'm appreciating is just a character that is just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And enjoying that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all kind of dumb.
They are all very dumb.
Not even kind of.
Aqua's pretty dumb.
Yeah, like Aqua is like I don't think that they intended for her to be as dumb as she ended up being at the start. Like, she's supposed to be worthless, but I feel like it sounds like they just lean into it in a way that I really appreciate later.
It's almost zen, the way that she just kind of slides into her life situation.
It's like the dumbing. It's like the dumbing of Homer Simpson, except it makes sense. It makes sense here.
So I will update y'all probably in the next podcast. I mean, it depends if I'm ready to jump back in and finish it. I mean, again, they're one sitting books, so probably. But I will update y'all before too long on how the whole thing wraps up.
Fantastic.
I have one other thing to talk about this segment, and it can be our joint thing, Polly, because I played Bad End Theater.
Hey, I played it.
This game is really fucking cute.
Yeah. Okay, so for the folks at home, like, what is Bad End Theater?
It's a VN that apparently Nami's been working on and off on for like 6 years.
Yeah, she's been showing off a lot of stuff from like 2015 from it.
And it's essentially a VN that it's a really cool structure that I don't think I've really seen before.
I've never seen anything like it.
Okay. Where you have 4 different characters, all of whom have their own flowcharts, and then each of the characters can make choices in their story, and then you can, in like the meta, in like the outside of the story, you can set which behaviors the characters do, and then you play other characters' routes and having those characters do specific actions. So like an example is like you can make the hero dutiful or not, which means that when he runs into monsters for the first time, he'll slash them down, which dramatically changes how the story plays out for other characters. Yep. So you can set the character to either like run away from the monsters or talk to the monsters, or kill them. And that's one choice you can set, and then play everybody else's route.
Yeah.
And then the story goes differently. So you're filling out each other's flowchart, and then you're also tweaking everybody's behaviors because you want to see how the maiden's story plays out when the hero does X, and then how it plays out when the hero does Y, and then how it plays out when the underling... There's the hero, the maiden, the underling, and the overlord. It's like a fantasy... It's a lot like Konosuba, actually.
Yeah, as I was about to say, it's actually really comparable.
It's very Nami... It's Nami Roke.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Thank you. I want to make this kind of dumb world at some point.
It's
so
a really good world.
It's this one world that they all live in, and I fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love all 4 of these characters to bits.
They're all great.
Extremely good.
The writing on these characters is just like Nami nails this shit all the time. Like characters that are funny, fleshed out, believable, warm, compassionate, purposeful. Like she just gets it.
Yep, exactly. Just the character writing is so strong, like giving them a strong voice.
Oh god,
and then
the
also,
voices are so strong.
Yeah, and then in the context of in like a prose, in like a dialogue sense. Not this is not voice acted.
No.
To me, and this is called bad in theater because all of the flowchart things terminate in bad ends. So the goal is that there are 41 bad ends spread between 4 different characters, and you want to find and explore and find all 41 bad ends.
Yep.
And I had a fucking blast doing that.
I struggled with the structure a bit.
You did, yeah.
At a few points. But I figured out why. And even Nami, like, I had seen her in a chat just yesterday with somebody that was streaming it that I was watching. And, even they were like, yeah, like, early versions of the flowchart were really confusing, and they're still not even sure if they nailed it 100%, because some things kind of read in a way, like I was saying, that, like, it looks like this option didn't need to be ticked because it looks like it's on a different branch, but it's actually feeding into this branch, because the way that I read flowcharts is not the way that this flowchart is set up. So, like, and originally they were all on the same flowchart, and it was just spaghetti mess.
Yeah, this is, I feel like this is, it's such a complex language that she's built here that I believe, I can buy it that there isn't really a clear way to do it as in a flowchart form that's not completely unparsable.
Yeah. Like the things that I got hung up on were just my own, like how I was reading it. But once I got it, I was like, oh, okay, I know why I was reading it that way now, and it's not necessarily anything wrong. It's just how I parse flowcharts in games where I've played a lot of games with flowcharts. So when things look a little different from what I'm used to, my brain goes, man, I'm so mad! Stop making my nincompoop brain hurt.
And Peter's last reward.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I'm done.
Okay, we figured it out.
We got it. Once John kind of pointed the things out to me and like, well, because I literally just screen shared my fucking flowchart. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I'm too stupid.
But like, it was like, I like entered this alternate plane where you like said, how do I get this ending? And then I just like, I couldn't communicate the logic I had clearly. So I was immediately like, turn this one off, turn this one on, turn this one on, turn this one off, and then you got it first try. And I was like, yes.
It's so interesting because if you think about things logically versus mechanically, like if you rely too much on just looking at the flowchart instead of just looking at the story, like I played through like probably 70% of this game just going like, okay, if I turn off hungry on underling, then when she meets the maiden, she won't eat her. Okay, good. Let's do this. And then, like, I spent most of the time, but when I got to a certain number of endings and I couldn't find the way out anymore, I started using the flowchart, and I started trying to think about it more mechanically than logically. So you could actually play this game both ways. Like, you could play just from the flowcharts and be like, okay, I need to tick this, 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 and this now to get this branch, and then go back and do it. Or you can just do it logically in your head of I need to do this, 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 and this, and then play that character. So it depends on how you're playing it, I think, that, like, if you may or may not, like, hit a road bump, hit a roadblock.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to know how long it would take some people to do it without a flowchart at all.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So I really like this part.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you get all the bad endings. You're all trapped in a web of fate that you cannot escape, and then that unlocks a true end path, and then everybody gets a happy ending.
Yeah,
I didn't like the happy ending.
That's unfortunately where I landed too. Like right when like me and John immediately and I knew something was up when John wasn't like gushing about this game, and he was just like, I'm interested in hearing y'all's thoughts on it sometime. and that's all he's saying. I was just like, oh, I don't think he liked it. As I was cruising into like the ending myself, which is wild because like while you're playing that big cathartic moment, I'm not gonna spoil what happens, obviously. It's
gorgeous,
but it's amazing. It's just like one, like, how are you doing this in Renpai? This is amazing. This is incredible. And it's like it's a great moment. You're doing a fun, cool thing that's totally outside the scope and language of a visual novel, and it's not, and it doesn't feel bad or tacked on. It's just a way to make this moment feel super amped and amazing, and it works. It's incredible. And then you get to like the after that part, and it just kind of loses me. I get what she was going for, and I know people are going to love it. Because and that's been that's been the feedback. It's like everybody absolutely loves where this game went in the end, and that's absolutely fine. Like I don't.
I mean,
that.
this is my thing. It's just like Nami has made some like small scale, intimate character stories in like a little world, like Lonely Wolf Treat, like Starry Flowers, like Syrup in the Ultimate Suite, and Nami has made universe scope, massive conflict stories where the fabric of the universe is being unwound, and the only solution is for two girls to kiss.
Yeah.
And like I've enjoyed those. I mean, for me, that's Her Tears Are My Light.
Yeah, like I respect it, and like those are the stories she wants to write. And I 100% respect it because that's her jam, and she's good at it.
I just don't like them as much.
I don't like them as much.
They all Kaima, Her Tears Are My Light, and this one all feel like kind of truncated to me. They don't feel like they put in. They have these big catharses, but it doesn't feel like it puts in all the work to get you there.
Yeah. Like it's like when you've kind of been numbed to the fact of what a bad ending is, like, and you have to because you got to dig through 41 bad endings, and you're kind of numb to the fact that like, well, I mean, these endings aren't too bad because I mean, like it's so truncated. You're not like super emotionally invested because you know that you're going to kind of go back and start it again, and these characters are still going to be there, or like or when you're cruising to the happy ending, it's like, okay, I get that, like I understand, like it's basically a fairy tale story. You're going to have that, but like you're not spending like 30 hours on something like The House in Fata Morgana where they go really big on their ending in the same way. But they needed 30 hours to get there to have that moment, and maybe you can earn a moment like that in 2 hours. It just like, and I'm not saying that the game's bad because this beat didn't land for me, but for me, like I needed something more for this to hit the way that I think she wanted it to hit.
Yeah, like
that's all. It's not bad.
This was a like I think this game is worth it purely for that whole. This is I'm talking about 80 minutes of having a fucking blast, and then like and then the ending not really landing for me.
Just what it does for visual novel structure in and of itself is very important.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's so cool.
Yeah,
it made me want to think about branching structures and DNs again for the first time.
And the art. I want to talk like the art is incredible. This game has all the graphics, trademark, and like you want to just like, I was stopping and just looking at every screen, every image. Like there's so many good facial expressions. There's so many good pieces of art. There's so much like even tastefully done violence that kind of gets done into. It's just it's so good in this really cool like color coded pixel art style. It's very like minimalistic color wise, but there's so much detail in it.
Yeah, it's and also it's that there's no portraits. Every scene has original art.
Yeah, like every scene. So like every scene is a CG basically.
There are hundreds of CGs in this game.
600 original images, 16,000 words.
It is so dense. But yeah, I think it's just going a little bit too big for me. I think something much more understated would have suited this story better for me. Just like something that maybe assumed a little bit less investment from me, and then that would have made me cry my eyes out at the end.
Right. Like I think if you'd have just like, and it sounds shitty because I know it's her favorite part of the story. If you'd have just not done the post-credit sequence, I think the game would have felt better in the end.
Or let the post-credit sequence be a lot more melancholy than it is. Because having that also be a happy ending was like, okay.
That felt, it's like you get, like, there's this thing where, like, we talked about it last year or the year before when I read a couple of Yuri visual novels, and a thing that kind of always struck me about them is that they always seem to kind of have this idealized happy ending. And that kind of just like, that's sort of where that kind of ends up landing for me, I guess. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's kind of like where I usually kind of get thrown out of a story sometimes. It's just like when it always has to be that. Yeah. Maybe I'm just an maybe I'm an edgelord. You know?
I mean, I'm absolutely an edgelord. This just plays into sort of a broader issue I'm kind of running into with a lot of indie games is like I think that a lot of them feel like they think they're more edgy and violent than they are.
Then they really are. Yeah, like there's even like I'm so sorry I put you through all of this. It's like you look.
I've seen that line. I've seen that meta line.
Oh, geez.
Where the author apologizes to you
for
all the pain they put you through in multiple releases, and every time I'm like, dog, I'm fine.
Yeah, like this didn't. Like
I thought talking to the authors of her lullaby here.
Yeah, like I guess I'm not gonna give us a big pat on the back or anything, but maybe we went against the grain a little bit, and maybe that's why those games didn't land maybe in a bigger way at some time.
You went a little hard there at points.
Maybe, but we needed it, and we needed it. Like for those stories to be honest, that we needed to go as hard as we did. I'm happy we did.
I completely love our stories. If I start explicitly comparing anything I do while doing criticism, that way the madness lies.
There you go.
Way the dickhead lies for me.
Yeah. I can't be that person. Like I'm not gonna say that just because we went hard in a way that like bad end theater doesn't, that we're better. No, we're two separate things.
Especially that you didn't really, I don't know, warn. Oh, no. This is so dark and violent. You guys are going to be so traumatized. We didn't do that.
Nah. We just kind of figured you'd get that, knowing who it's coming from.
Yeah,
we did put a very
thorough
content warning.
Yeah, content warning.
I think content warning is different than like
than actually stopping to say, all right, now I know this is getting a little intense for you, which is like what a lot of indie games do, is that they literally apologize for the horrible things that they've put you through, and it's just like, dog, like John said, bitch, I'm fine.
That said, it's so fucking good. They're so fucking good throughout. Oh my god, I love the maiden so much. I love her so much. Everyone I've talked to has had a different favorite character.
Well, Underling is like I want to hug Underling forever, forever and ever. Underling is my favorite. Just wants to fucking be lazy. Just wants to live the life of being an Underling. No muss, no fuss. Let me be lazy. Let me take naps. It's all good. I got pulled into a conspiracy to fucking kill our leader. Uh-oh. Oh no! Me being lazy has really not worked out at all.
Yep. And then Cecile's favorite was the Overlord, and I'm like, yeah, perfect sense.
Overlord is so good.
Mm-hmm. Hero is extremely good too. Like
all the characters are really fun.
Spread.
They're all good. Like I know why you would like all of them. Like I would buy an Underling plush.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
They're so good. These designs are ready These designs are ready-made for plushies. Nami!
Oh,
Nami! Somebody clip this and send it to Nami. Please, get ready.
Don't to listen to the rest of it. I feel bad.
Yeah, it's a good point. Don't send her anything from this podcast. Let's just stop right there.
Until Game of the Year.
Until Game of the Year. Flowers. Where we talk. Oh god, yeah, man, Starry Flowers was this year. Fuck.
So fucking good.
Oh man. Oh god. How did I? Whoa. Why do I not have that on? Uh-oh. I thought
crisis was just averted.
I thought that was last year.
We just avoided a bad end.
Could have been 42.
It was February 2021.
That could have been 42 bad endings.
Oh man. Oh, Polly, that would have been so sad.
Oh man.
Can you imagine getting to the end of John sitting there like, wow, it's going to be Polly's Game of the Year. And then Polly has something else at number 1, and John's just like, what the fucking Starry Flowers?
What happened? What happened?
I really cannot overstate the effect that Starry Flowers had on my soul.
Oh my god. And I streamed that and everybody got to feel that in real time, and me just sitting there being a blubbering mess at the end and trying to pretend I wasn't.
Life is good. That's my whole segment. I enjoyed talking. I enjoyed digging deep in on this one because our games fucking deserve it.
Yeah,
really good.
This is a good game. Like, this is a good game. Like, despite the fact that the ending didn't land, like, I like this game a lot. I don't want it to. Yeah, I don't want it to come off being a negative here. That the fact that the ending didn't quite land. I want the overall takeaway to be. I want the takeaway to be like, this is very important. Like, what this game does is very important for visual novels. And like, if people like piggyback off of this in a way in the future, I see that like. I can see this being like the stepping stone for where visual novels kind of do something interesting and different from here on. I can see this having that kind of impact. So, and I love the presentation. I love the characters. So, like, it's all there. Believe me, like, this is a great fucking game.
The way that it works is that it is essentially, it's so dense with story because every path it does the story pathing so quickly that it will give you a whole arc for these characters in like 12 dialogue boxes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel it's not that it's rushing.
Yeah.
It's that it is economical and that it is telling you it's much like Kichikuo Rants that way, and how it economically fits many stories into a very strong branching narrative structure in a way that that's really cool to me. That is so generous.
That is a comparison I'm sure Nami would love to hear.
It feels so generous. It feels like the game is just stuffed to the brim with stories it wants to tell you, and that it is just getting them across so quickly in this cool structure.
Yeah.
It's
in my Steam library. Like I bought it on itch. I bought it on itch, so I also got a Steam key. It's in my library. You can play it. It's like an hour. I was going to hit
the install button. We're literally streaming right now.
All right. Good.
But I have one honest. This is a wild question.
Yeah.
But I have to know.
Yeah.
Will the ending of this game spoil Fata Morgana for me?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, it's nothing like it.
No, it's just that the scope that they're going for is the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, Fata Morgana, you ain't gonna see that coming. And when you do,
the way you guys were saying like this has the same ending, I was just like, I probably should play the other one.
No. It's not the same ending. It's the same. Like they're both going for the same scope.
Okay.
Like, yeah, exactly. I think you can. Zelos on the chat. I'm a little glad I'm not the only one who thought the ending didn't quite land.
Okay. We're not terrible. Well, we probably are. But at least we have we have good company in being terrible people.
Mm. It's a thing that it's a larger criticism I have playing a lot of indie games. Is just sort of an understanding of drama and how you build stakes and how you kind of earn like a certain kind of melancholy. I don't know. And I'm not saying that I'm any good at it. It's something I think I recognize and really, really appreciate when it's done well. Yeah. Like in Starry Flowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that game is just kind of pitch perfect with how it develops the conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just a consequence of like maybe maybe you can feel that approaching these stories and then being able to feel that pretty clearly when you're dealing with very small stakes versus the grand stakes.
Yeah.
And I want a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, folks, we're going to go take 5 minutes. We will be back. Get up, stretch your nuts out, do whatever you need to do to feel better. We love you. Be back. I'm bad.
What?
I was playing music from Bad Dudes, and I was playing the boss theme, and that's when I got back, and I stopped it and said, I'm bad!
Nice.
Because I am a master of comedy. Alright. Wise from your grave.
Just reenacting all the early
Just
voice samples.
do all
from
that.
games.
That'll be the rest of the podcast.
Blades of Steel.
Oh my god, that was really good.
Was it? I was just kind of winging it.
Well, the way you were close to the mic, kind of
Oh.
oversamp, it kind of brick walled it, so it sounded closer to like,
So you can do like,
low bit rate shit.
Double Dribble.
Wow.
That's the key. It's how you make every song 8-bit. Is you go on YouTube.
You just shout into the microphone.
And shout it into the microphone. That's what I'm gonna do. Like that dork that takes all these NES songs and puts bad fucking reverb on them. That's gonna be my shtick. Cause I'm just gonna play all the songs back into a microphone and crank it all the way up. Now it really sounds authentic.
Just take an actual song and re-encode the MP3 at like, the lowest quality setting and be like, it's 8-bit now.
It's 8-bit now, baby. Now it's really 8-bit. They didn't know what they were doing back then. They didn't know how to do real 8-bit.
Gonna find that really shitty MIDI to MP3 converter at Ryukishi used.
Everybody uses to like make all of their bad covers. You can tell when somebody's using that program because every song sounds the fucking same. Like, go listen to any MIDI cover of like a popular song, and they all are using the same instruments. They all sound the same because they're using the same notation program to output the MIDI file.
Tragic.
Yeah, it's dreadful. Terrible. It's dreadful. Rhett.
Hey.
What else have you been up to?
Yeah, what else have you been doing?
So here's a shocker.
Uh-oh. Hold on, I need to strap in for this. I don't know why I
Played some
said
video games.
What?
It's been a bit.
You do that?
I do now, once again.
Oh, Rhett rides again, baby.
Never stop riding.
I don't know.
I basically haven't really like seriously played games since like the start of August when I had some time off work.
Yeah.
That's when the great anime binge started.
Yeah, when it started.
And then I just watched anime for 2.5 months, and then that concluded me watching Squid Game and Love Live, which was basically, I'm out of stuff to watch.
You're out of stuff to watch now.
Like, my to-watch list is almost entirely stuff that's airing right now, or like even years off. God. It's just like, oh, I did it. I caught up.
You conquered a backlog beast. Not many can say they've done that.
I mean, and in order to do that, I had to narrow it down to like animation from one specific country, like actually a fairly narrow view of things, Even though Japan produces like fucking 30 shows a season, it's still kind of nuts. Like American animation would be super easy to catch up on.
Oh yeah.
You got like one thing watching every year, maybe.
Yeah.
Like for me, my American animation backlog is DuckTales.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yep,
that's it.
That's
the one. Literally it.
That's the
I
one.
watched Castlevania and then DuckTales.
And then it's just like, when can I give Disney Plus the least amount of money? Hold on, I need to figure that. I need to figure that out first. I need to make sure that I am not giving them anything. So
the answer might be next.
What about Ruby? Rhett?
I'll watch Ruby when it has an ending, which means never.
Yeah, that's never ending. That's a franchise, baby.
That's the problem. Is like, because it's so popular and makes money somehow.
Yeah.
They don't seem to have an ending planned at all.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to talk about cartoons. I'm here to talk about video games.
We don't talk about cartoons on this podcast anymore.
I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because this podcast's getting a little long and we have a big one coming up.
Oh, baby.
Yep.
So during my little mostly not playing video games break, I played Deltarune Chapter 2.
Oh,
Yay! How'd it treat you?
Was kind of middling
That was,
on
a,
it.
that was a long pause there. That was a long pause.
that was like,
there.
wait. Did Rhett die, or is this just like, uh-oh?
I mean, I
think
will
that's
say,
very fair, Rhett.
I was not really in a video game mood at the time, but it was like the zeitgeist kind of got to me on that one as well.
Yeah.
But then when I was playing it, was definitely not in the mood for like another quirky and inconsequential adventure.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, the writing style
Not where you're at right
really
now.
started to kind of grate on me a bit, where it's just like
Everything has to be a joke.
everything's a joke. Deltarune right now has this weird overproduced vibe to it for me. Where like it doesn't look nearly as bad as Undertale, but like Undertale felt more honest. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, like even with Deltarune Chapter 1, that's really how I felt.
Yeah.
This felt like really... This felt like the Hollywoodization in a way.
Yeah. And then there's also like due to the length, like some stuff starts getting reused. Like, you know that animated fire gif that I used in Adventures of Mike Man?
Yeah!
They have Lancer do that in Chapter 1, and it's really funny and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then it happens like 6 more times in Chapter 2.
Oh.
And I'm just completely like, it's not funny anymore, Toby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I get that.
And like, the characters that this chapter focuses on, I just felt not nearly as compelling as, Susie and Lancer from Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Really like Noelle. But
It was
you're
just
right.
fine. I think kind of the most damning thing is that the breakout character from this one, like internet meme wise, is the one who's like not really relevant to the plot.
God, you're right. The optional super boss one. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
like that character and their introduction is so weird, where it just happens in the middle of like a bunch of other stuff. Like the car stops, you walk down one screen, and then there's just this complete non sequitur character.
They kind of do that a lot. The somebody pointed out that the mixtape, the 3 like DJ characters, they never come back. They don't matter.
They actually, so I thought that at first too. They do come back when they do the whole like everyone is supporting you against the final boss thing. But it's pretty inconsequential. I thought
for all the weight that they get. Like,
they definitely hang around way too. That was like the absolute low point for me, and then after that, I did start liking the chapter more. There's just things about how the combat system with the whole 3 character thing, it feels a little bloated. And like they even teach you how to end fights as quickly as possible by like if Chris does something that'll spare an enemy or get their gauge to 100%, then you can have Susie and Ralph say spare on the same turn, and hey, the fight's over immediately.
I was wondering if that was going to be something that they were going to run into going forward, because I could see that the combat could end up being way too long for what they've set up.
Yeah. The combat, they're like so deliberately brief now, where it's just like, I would rather there just be longer fights that happen significantly less often.
less frequently. Yeah.
Because these fights are so, if you can one turn these fights, like you're not even seeing all the enemy attacks.
No.
And the fact that this game has like as many enemy types as Chapter 1 does, but even being a little longer, so it's like not as much variety as nearly as much as Undertale had, which again would only use enemy types like 2 or 3 times after the ruins.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the super boss. That was my favorite part, but also kind of a little salty when the best parts of this game are when it's like most directly referencing Undertale.
Yeah. Kinda saw that being something that might happen too.
Yeah.
I really like the I didn't fight the super boss. I really like the regular story final boss. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's part of the whole like so overproduced. I don't know. Like it's kind of feels to me maybe what you guys are saying about bad end theater, where this going so big at the end felt a little unearned.
Mm.
Like, that final boss is so silly.
I think that's what it was for me. Is like it didn't feel like it was going for like a big emotional thing. It was just
Yeah.
like the main level I enjoyed Deltarune Chapter 2 on was like this is a big silly video game. Like
Yeah.
they do this. This is a silly 3-hour RPG that ends with a really cool boss and a dungeon segment where you go through and the music plays continuously through the fights. And I'm like, this is cool.
Okay,
I'm glad people can make these and that go on for like 3 hours and then build to this level of intensity. It's not doing anything like particularly substantive.
That's my problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just here's a fun, quirky 3-hour adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the story payoff is basically the same as the one at the end of the first game.
It really, really kind of is. It's so funny. So, like, the thing about releasing these in chapters and also, like, 2 or 3 years apart is you get the forum discussion. It's so funny. Just reading Reset Era and, like, the insanely in-depth theories people have about this.
Yeah.
You're not going to see Gaster in the game, guys, for fuck's sake.
Please stop!
I just see these pages and pages about how Gaster is masterminding everything and how this is actually an alternate universe of Undertale and blah, 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 blah. Just like, oh my god, you guys are so in it. It's kind of like how Lost was a show about the characters.
Yeah.
But then, during the airing of Lost, you saw just endless speculation about,
the nature of
lore.
everything.
The lore. Yeah, that's the word, lore. Like, so people, like, who bounced off the ending of that show really hard were like, yeah, the lore never really mattered because the show itself didn't ever really get into it.
Mm-hmm. It was about the characters, and it usually was pretty good with that.
Yeah. So, Deltarune is going to feel different when it's finished, and you can just marathon the whole thing and not worry about where is it going, what does the ending of Chapter 2 mean, what does this implicate, because it'll tell you immediately when you start Chapter 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my thing is, like, I had a bunch of friends talking about the lore and talking about trying to dig into it and playing the alternate route, and then I'm just like, I don't care enough at this point
like,
to get invested.
I don't want to be an Undertale Deltarune conspiracy theorist. I can't do it. It's not in me.
I just want to play the game, and then if it's really good, then I'll go back and enjoy, like, some of the alternate stuff. I'll maybe think hard about the lore. But the game needs to work for me on, like, the baseline level before I invest in it on that level. And I'm not going to do that just because I really like Undertale, because this is its own thing.
Yeah. The fact that there is an alternate path this time intrigues me. Because I think, like, my favorite part of Undertale was what it was trying to say about, like, violence in video games.
Yeah.
And now this game seems to be setting itself up for
embracing that a bit.
Or even just more like, what does it mean to control a character? I think is the most direct summary.
I mean, that's kind of what you get about, like, things that are happening to Chris even in the first episode.
Yeah, because there's the way the first episode ends, which clearly sets up that you are not playing as Chris.
Like, I mean, they literally throw all of your decisions away at the start of the game. They're
There's
making
that.
it very clear what's happening here.
Yeah. So, like, you do not play as Chris. You play as the Red Heart that plays as Chris.
Yeah.
Basically. And then there's stuff about how Susie, like, doesn't listen to Chris's choices. Like, she just does her own thing.
Yep.
And then the alternate route is, like, this extra meta layer where you, playing as the Red Heart, controlling Chris, who controls other characters in combat, makes someone else do the genocide route. So it's like you yourself are so far removed from the violence that's happening. It's like it's several meta layers weird of having, because Chris still can't kill enemies, but somebody else can.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, but I'm still not like intrigued enough to actually play that route now.
Yeah.
It was just a shame because, like, that's what people say is, like, the best part of this chapter is the new creepy all the creepypasta shit. Essentially.
Yeah.
But I'm not there.
So, like, thematically, I'm into it, but, like, the actual playing it was like...
I'm just like, I don't know where I stand with this yet. Like, I played Deltarune the morning it came out. Like I was
I know.
there.
Oh, the hype was insane.
The
for
hype
chapter.
was insane. But like when chapter 2, like even the day before it, like when they announced it the day before, I just kind of like, yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna play it right now though. I
like
don't know.
Chapter 1 hit 3 years after Undertale, and Chapter 2 hit almost 3 years
Yeah.
after Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, like they make references to tomorrow and yesterday in the game a lot, which is obviously Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Yeah.
And somebody says, could be tomorrow, could be 2 years from now. And I'm just like,
Bah!
even acknowledging that, hey, you're going to be waiting a while for 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Or what? You know, it's good.
Yeah.
Chapter 3 by itself.
It will. Yeah.
Because I think, as it is right now, it works better as single releases.
Yeah. It sounds like if they tried to go bigger, like it sounds like this thing's just going to be way bigger than they can handle.
Yeah.
And also with it being as episodic as it is, I can see it being exhausting to play all at once.
Yeah.
I just think the discussion would be so weird if it just dropped 3, 4, 5 at once and then just gave a lot more answers. Or really bad if it still wasn't giving any answers by the end of 5.
Ooh, that'd be rough.
Because the title screen now, like it says straight up says like chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I give my where I think it's going to shake out?
Yeah.
I think it's going to hum along, like giving us little scraps through like probably chapters 3 and 4. I think chapter 5 is going to completely explode, and then chapter 6 and 7 are going to make us cry a lot, and it's going to be really good. And I think
so.
And I hope so, but even that, I don't think that's necessarily more special to me than like what Undertale does. Even if it's higher highs.
Yeah.
Because of what Undertale accomplishes so much more economically.
Yeah.
Like this is Toby doing his 25-hour RPG, and that's great. That's great.
It's great, but it's a totally different energy than something that is as razor sharp and focused as Undertale was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Undertale is a game with like no extra bits like whatsoever.
Yeah.
Everything
matters.
A thing I've been kind of wrestling with this year is just sort of thinking, if you make me cry after I play your game for like 30, 40, 50 hours, that's not actually enough on its own. That's not actually that impressive.
No.
You have to do more than that to actually have been a something I would really like and really recommend and want to revisit.
Yeah,
because that is not.
Yeah, you can
hard.
reduce John and Rhett to little crying bitches like with no provocation.
That was me at the end of Yakuza 7. Like, well, thank God the ending was good, but Jesus.
Yeah, I think we've both been wrestling. I think we had a little bit of that with Amori.
Yeah,
I think we're wrestling with that. I had a little bit of that with Trail Zero.
Ooh,
Sorry.
Yay.
So I've been kind of thinking. I think that game's real good, of course. But
Game of the year is going to be interesting.
But that's been something I've been kind of thinking a lot about lately.
Okay. I did play some other games. I want to go through these quick. I wasn't even sure if I was going to bring up Deltarune, but I was like, yeah, it's probably a more interesting discussion. I played Unmetal, which is a game I think on the last episode Polly really vouched for.
Yeah, I was a big fan of
It's
Unmetal.
a fun, cute, dumb. It's so stupid.
It's stupid in all the right ways, I think.
Like, usually when characters swear in video games, I'm like, I always find it extremely funny.
Yeah.
The swearing in this one is so, like, breathing that it's not funny anymore. Like, the writing is just so crass where he's just, I don't know. He's just
I don't know if that is a matter of the writer not being a native English speaker or not. Because remember, like, when Bulletstorm came out, and that game got raked over the coals.
Bulletstorm I find hilarious.
But like, you know, like, there was discourse around, oh my god, the script didn't need to be so crass. And like, they literally just wrote the script that way because that's how they thought swearing worked in English. And I think that's sort of the same case with the way Unmetal's swearing is, because people just gotta bust out like some real raunchy shit, just kind of like, wow, like, and it's so casual and not like scripty. The game's still funny, and I think a lot of the dialogue is still funny, but like the swearing is definitely like the thing where, like, when I heard it, I was like, I think that's just not coming from a native English speaker.
Maybe that shouldn't have been the one thing I mentioned, but it's just funny when like a character will say the F word like 3 times in the same sentence. Like, okay,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it.
It's
Like if you think about all the places you can put "fuck" in as an adjective or anything,
yeah, they do it.
and then actually do it. Like that's this game. Yeah. There's fun stuff with like the choices you make affecting the gameplay. There's one towards the end where it's like, and then there were guards on this floor, and they were all, and the options are like Terminators or Scandinavian. So the guy that I saw said to pick Scandinavian, and the first time I played, I did Terminators, and I was like,
oh baby,
you punch one and it takes like literally no damage, and I was like, uh-oh. So then I do Scandinavian, and you knock a guy out, and he gets up 5 seconds later.
Get back up.
And I go, fuck that. I hate nothing more than respawning enemies.
Mm-hmm. You can
so I died. And
you can restrain them and keep them from getting up.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
you can find wire and tie them up once you knock them down.
Can you tie up every single one?
I think there's just enough to keep everybody.
Well,
because that's what I did too. I used Scandinavian, and I found I can't remember if it was wire or something else, but there was an item that you could use to like tie them up when you knock them down.
Well, I didn't know that because there's a lot of like hidden things of combining items.
Oh yeah, the game's got a lot of that stuff that isn't necessary.
Like, you can have a lit cigarette and a gasoline, and if you combine them in the menu, you just explode and die.
You die!
Yeah, it's a fun time. I finished it last night. The story is stupid. Like, the story takes itself, like, surprisingly serious in the back half.
Yeah, like when they're going over, like, Project Jericho and, like, what it is, and, like, yeah. Like, I think they kind of had to kind of make that part, like, at least make a bit of sense. And not just be a joke for it to kind of feel a bit stakesy, I guess.
Yeah. But it just felt like the humor maybe started to take a little bit of backseat.
A little bit of a backseat. Yeah.
I was trying to remember one moment, but I'm blanking out. Yeah.
Nice link to Twitter Twitter home, John.
Oh, whoops. Nailed it.
No. Just twitter.com/home. Good job, John.
No, I wanted to get the best, my favorite video game swear.
What's your favorite video game swear, John?
It's from one of my games.
Oh, it's who are you? Get out of my castle. How about I give you a face full of fire? How about I squash you like a tiny puppy? Fuck you! Start boss fight.
Yeah, that's
right, because that is like the one 100%. Fuck you.
That one's 100% intentionally stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
That still is so perfect to me. Thank you for that gift, Rhett. How about I squash you like a tiny puppy? Fuck you! Boom!
I think the funny thing about game swearing is that, like, my site was known for a lot of swearing. And, like, none of my games really use it in that way. Like Her Lullaby and Afterward are the only 2 games I have that have cursing in them that I've made.
I think Mike Man might be the only one I have that has cursing in it.
Yeah, I think it might be, yeah.
Because that was, very early.
Yeah.
Hunters does not have... Oh, God, could you imagine that?
Oh, Lord.
Just Rena saying, fuck you!
Fuck you! To Omadon. That would be funny.
God. Okay, real quick. I played half an hour of a shmup called Blue Revolver.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh! Yeah. Fill me in.
I have not been so immediately like, fucking holy shit, this rules.
Oh,
so
no!
cool, right?
Oh, shit, you got me. Like, because I have that, too.
Yeah. I was so immediately like, oh, this feels so fucking good. Also, it's very hard. Like, even I did one run on the middle default difficulty, and by stage 2, I was like, holy shit, game, calm down. So I did the lower difficulty and still, like, game over by the stage 3 boss.
Damn, son.
But stage 3 was
like,
just
this is a real shmup.
It's a real deal. Stage 3 was so fucking cool.
Oh, I'm so excited because John got me that. And I'm just like, oh man, like I know that's sitting there, and I've heard so many people whose opinions on shmups I trust.
Interesting.
talk about that game, and I'm just like, I'm very excited to play that at some point.
This was just like 4 a.m. I saw it in your library. I was like, I'll check that out. Holy fucking shit, this is good. And then I bought it for my own account.
Nice.
So it was my present to you too.
Yeah, basically.
Not in a way. Kind of.
So like 2 or 3 years ago, I remembered like I had 2 shmups in my itch wish list, and I had them sitting right next to each other, and one was Blue Revolver and one was Zero Ranger, and I was like, I don't know. Which one? And I was like a coin flip.
God, I only just realized this came out in 2016. I thought this was a recent game.
Yeah, I thought it was recent myself.
Huh.
Fucking time.
I'm very excited to play this. I'm very excited to play this one, but also like I gotta be in a right place to start a real deal shmup.
Yeah, I gotta I know that this is gonna be a game I'm gonna have to like grind out to feel good at.
I'm very interested though. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
I even listened to I listened to a whole interview with the dev, and it just seemed like had a good head on his shoulders, like action design wise.
Love that.
Yep. Good shit.
Okay, absolute last thing. I've been playing a puzzle platformer called The Pedestrian.
Oh, yeah.
This is the one where, like, you're a character that runs around on, like, signs in the world. Like, I don't know, like, very minimalistic look on the signs themselves, but then just in, like, city streets. Like, it's a very cool, dynamic look and, like, the way the camera will move around. But it is definitely a puzzle-ass puzzle platformer.
Yeah.
Like, because you can... In some screens, you can pick up the signs and move them around, and then you can manually connect which door, how doors connect to each other.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
And then I'm getting pretty far in it, and then there's, like, options where... There was one screen where, like, part of the solution was resetting the puzzle, that your character would reset to the start, but then some aspects to the puzzle wouldn't reset. Right, because you're, like, you start getting electricity and you can affect things in the real world. So then, like, a gate will open in the real world, but that's not part of the puzzle. So when you restart the puzzle, the gate is still open now. So then you have to do the puzzle a different way with that in mind to get
weird.
So you have to do the puzzle like 3 times to open all 3 gates.
Oh,
that's
you posted you posted a thing in a DM earlier where like I'm playing a game and I can hear Polly screaming no, and this sounds like it. Look, I'm dumb, okay? I am too dumb for puzzle games.
Yeah.
Red plays real puzzle games, and real puzzle games are fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I would say this is definitely not like this is not a Baba Is You or Steven Sacha, which I haven't played. Because there's puzzle games that are just made to be evil.
Yeah.
And then there's puzzle games like Portal that are meant to give you a kind of a guided experience. So they never get too hard. Because the problem is if you get stuck on one single puzzle, then the game just ends.
The game stops, Doesn't feel great.
Yeah. So, like, they try to make these intimidating but not impossible. Where a game like that is more open and has just 500 puzzles, it doesn't care if you can solve any of them. And then this game seems... Go ahead.
Well, just that, like, there will be the ones that are like, here, we're giving you 50 puzzles to do. That way you're not... If you get stuck on any one, then you don't have to... Then you can progress on the other ones. And then I'll try all of them and not be able to progress on any of them. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, cool.
Cool, I'm dumb. Thanks.
The Baba Is You experience.
Yes.
Good.
That game is so much. Yeah, because this is primarily linear progression. Like I haven't actually got stuck on anything for too long, except for where I was just before the podcast. A big thing happened. The nature of the game changed a bit. And I stared at a puzzle for like 15 minutes going, am I overthinking this? And then it turns out I was not.
Oh no.
It was like, oh, we're really doing this now, huh? Okay.
Like you want to be told I'm overthinking this.
I really thought, I was like, there's no way. There's no way, right? And then it totally was.
Oh, Lord.
So I have no idea how much of the game I have left, because this definitely feels like the end game. Or the halfway point.
That's how puzzle games go.
Yeah.
Or the 1/5 mark.
Oh, okay, I do have 9 out of 10 achievements.
Okay,
so,
you are at the end.
That probably means I'm at the end. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And that's
Nope.
I like video games again. It's
You
weird.
like video games? That's wild to me.
Nice.
Like
That's so
excited
nice,
to play
Rhett.
that in theater and Buddy Simulator and
Oh, nice.
Oh,
What the
Buddy
hell?
Simulator! I want to check that out.
I know I'm buying games and being like excited to play them. It's weird.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Hey, Rhett,
I-
I'm excited about video games again, too. It's really, really nice.
I think
feels
what I had
good,
to
doesn't it?
I think what I had to do was stop bashing my head against 50-hour RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of needed to finish Xenoblade, and then I started
Yeah.
getting back
Because
to
everything
really
so
liking
far
games
has
again.
been like simpler 2D stuff, like a puzzle platformer or a shmup or Metroid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just not like the game that will take you a month to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, does Polly have anything?
I don't have anything else that's probably going to be talked about is probably something I have input on, but I have not done anything else. No.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and jump to John.
Hi. Well, the other thing, the remaining thing I was going to talk about is that I played all of Metroid Dread, which we talked about last time, and then I played a shit ton of other Metroid games.
Uh-oh. Man, it turns out Metroid might be kind of good. Huh.
Hey, Metroid rules. I kind of forgot. Metroid was like probably like my earliest like real deal fandoms in video games were like Mega Man, Metroid, and Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
those are the ones that I was like deep in on for a long time. Like those were the ones I knew all the big fan sites. I read fanfic. Those are the ones that I like really dug deep on as a kid.
Yeah.
It's so funny how closely this mirrors me, because except for the internet stuff. Because I wrote Mega Man fanfic in like 3rd grade.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby. Hell yeah.
And then I found a thing that I showed you guys last night where I was writing about Metroids in like 4th grade.
You were doing like
So good.
you need to post those drawings on Twitter,
Oh
my
my
dude.
God,
They're
it's
so good.
I don't know if that was ever actually submitted as a thing or if it was like make up the fake biology of an animal.
Right.
Because I don't remember what the project would have been. But I remember finding those in the den and was like, oh yeah, this was a thing that happened.
God. And like,
Boy,
they're in
my
such
handwriting
good,
is...
they're in such good condition for being as old as they are, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Metroid 2 was like a super influential game for me. And then Mega Man. Mega Man just gets everybody. Every
Yeah,
kid.
everybody
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Oh,
gets
yeah.
pulled in.
Yeah, mine was Mega Man X. I had that one, and then that was the. I remember a birthday morning getting Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4, and Mega Man Legends all
Oh
at once.
my
It's
god.
like, it was just like that was the standby. Like Mom knew she could go to the pawn shop or the Games for Less, and if it had Mega Man on the thing and it wasn't one I had already, she could get it, and I would have a good time.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Yep.
that's a killer birthday haul right there.
That was a great haul.
God damn.
So that was very yeah. Metroid Zero Mission was the game that I actually speedran as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I got under an hour. I cleared it in under an hour, and I felt like hot shit.
Hell yeah.
Felt very good. I played through it like 15 times to get there, and it felt really, really cool. I learned like sequence breaks and stuff. My first one was Super Metroid. And then I got Fusion, and Zero Mission, and I figured once the second I figured out emulators, I did Metroid 1 and 2. I never beat Super as a kid, but during my like discovering guides, I was like, oh, there's a step-by-step walkthrough of Super Metroid. I can play through it in an emulator with save states, and that was how I like that. That was basically like Chrono Trigger. I beat legit on my SNES as a kid. Super Mario World I beat legit. Mega Man X I beat legit. Link to the Past I did not. Final Fantasy IV I did not. Super Metroid I did not, even though I loved them. And those are the ones I went back through with save states and guides and got my way and finally made it through for the first time, and then ultimately went back to them later and replayed them. So I like those are my first experiences with like Metroid 1 through 3 was like kind of having a big map up, like, okay, now I'm gonna 100% every item, I'm gonna mark it off in paint when I collect the missile tank, which is very cute, I think.
It is. It's very similar to how I played through original Metroid in like 1989 with actual fucking graph paper I stole from the school.
Extremely good.
Polly having to mention that she stole it.
I did. I stole. I like. It was a big spiral ring notebook that the teacher had that like we would use for math class, and I was just like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna take it." I just took the whole fucking thing
For a noble, truly
a very noble
purpose.
cause. I'm sure that people would understand. Look, man, like I need to keep track of where these bombable walls are taking me.
I remember printing the last page of the manual of Zillion.
Oh wow!
On the work, which had the empty map you could fill in.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I printed it on the work printer. I saw it and was like, "What's that?" And I said, "It's the map to Zillion for the Sega Master System." I printed it out so I could fill it in at home. I was like, "Dope." But yeah, I just played Metroid to death as a kid, and it's been very precious to me for a long time.
Yeah.
Metroid 2 directly inspired like 4 of my games.
Yeah.
So like I think you can get in the weeds with like which one's better, which one's good. I think I intellectualized myself into thinking Zero Mission was bad for a while. Even though I completely cherished it as a kid.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it was one that like the old insert credit action button people would talk about endlessly. So I got very deep into like the discourse when I was like a 16-year-old, like really formulating critical theory things about games.
And your favorite was Other M.
Man, those reviews are still on the site for all to read.
They sure are.
Yeah. We wrote them.
So I hadn't really dug back into these games since having that whole, like, I'm going to think really hard about why these are or aren't actually good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very stupid that Super Metroid has super missile blocks, too much key gating. I don't know. Just, like, really deep in it.
What if Super Metroid is actually bad, everybody?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that it's bad. It's that it's just flawed in these XYZ ways. And like obviously none of these games are perfect, but it was just like getting very much in my head about them, and it was very nice to just come back and be like, oh yeah, these are really good. All right, so I finished Dread and then I 100%ed it. It was a fucking blast. I think y'all I don't know if any of us had actually finished it last podcast.
No, we hadn't, but I went on to complete it 3 more times after finishing it.
I had a fucking weekend.
Oh, man. Last weekend, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 weeks ago now. I beat it like Thursday night and then started a new game Friday. And then before finishing that game, started another new game.
Another one.
So I had 2, because I really fucked up going for the harder sequence breaks on my hard mode file.
Yeah.
It was just like, how about I not? How about I just start the entire game over? So I finished it like twice Sunday night, both files.
Nice.
That's so good. Yeah, it's really good, huh?
God, like I didn't realize the impression that game was going to make on me until I literally started a new save file the moment I finished it and played through it again the next day in like one sitting.
It was like, oh yeah, okay.
Goes down real smooth, and then like later that same night, I'm like, I'm not gonna do any of these dumb Shine Spark puzzles. I can't use a stick; it's too hard. And then like 2 hours later, I've got like 80% of the items, and it's just like, oh, oops, it happened.
Oopsie.
Sure, like Shine Sparking is actually like, yeah, like it does feel a little weirder on a control stick, but they're so generous with what you can do with it now, and it's so much more expressive. Like, I've seen people, like, find these alternate ways to get things, and I would just be like, I didn't think of that. I would never have thought of that. Like, there's that one dumb one that we kept doing. The one where I did the slide into the ball, drop the bomb real quick.
Oh, that's so good.
Like, and I saw so many people do it different ways, and it was like, this is so cool. Like, when has this ever been this expressive? Because Shine Sparking...
That is not how Shine Sparking works.
It used to be really restrictive because I think that they felt weird about giving the player that much control over something so powerful. Like, there could be easily ways to break the game if you don't clamp down on that, and these devs were just smarter than that.
That's so cool.
The game seems to have an ideal philosophy of, like, if you can Shine Spark your way out of the critical path, then...
Do it.
You deserve to.
then do it, and also don't blame us if it's too hard.
Yeah, like that was my first. My first real sequence break was accidentally like ball sparking into the area where you get the cross bomb, and I got that like super fucking early, but I got that way late in the game on my first playthrough.
Oh yeah, it's like right by the end.
Yeah, and then like I opened up so many like other like areas of just like, oh, I can go do this now.
Oh, we can blow this game open.
Yeah, like the way that this game has been blown open with sequence breaks, and the way that the devs they seem pretty on board with it because they're not they're not patching it out or anything.
Hopefully not. The latest breaks are fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah. The way you can break the last boss's aiming and shit.
Not even that. The newest glitch is like when it gives you the melee tutorial at the very start of the game. Like, go to the first main boss, restart the game, do the melee tutorial again, go back to the first boss, restart the game again.
What?
Like, yeah, I'll show you later. It's like...
What does it do?
And then eventually you beat the first boss back normally. Because when you restart, I don't know, it's something about resetting that cutscene accidentally, and then you kill that enemy from the other side, and then trigger the melee cutscene again, which will permanently lock the camera in place.
Oh.
So then all enemies and actors are unloaded, and then you can just go get the screw attack.
Oh, that's
Except the camera's still locked on that enemy.
That's fucked up!
And then I've seen people like melee through the ground.
Yeah.
And like the game's kind of busted.
Oh yeah, like, it's busted in
curious.
Really interesting ways. Like, it doesn't sound like they're going to be able to do any kind of like out of bounds stuff though, because they literally just hard coded a death plane on top of anything that's out of bounds.
That's yeah, I think this glitch about the camera thing like ran into that, where it's like,
yeah,
because you have to do a shine spark at the end to end it, and then they were just shine sparking out of bounds by accident.
Yeah. Like that was a thing. Like they had a lot of out of bounds stuff in Samus Returns, and their solution to that was just kill the player if they're out of bounds.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Oh,
it's really fun.
This game reminded me why I love Metroid in the first place.
It just put me right back in the headspace of being a kid playing Fusion Zero Mission over and over and over because they're so fucking fun.
I literally felt transported back to like Metroid and Super Metroid, just in front of the TV. Like it had, like, you know, in the same way that we talked about the opening to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that the way that punched me in the chest. This game did that to me in a number of times of just sitting around, like, running through these areas, collecting items, or, like, looking at, like taking in the level design to kind of appreciate, like, what they're doing here with the overall shape of rooms and things, and how they use that, and how they use that to communicate things to the player, and how very rudimentarily, like, the older games would do that, whereas this is maybe a little more blatant.
It's really forceful in this game
these days, but it kind of threw me right back into that same headspace. I kind of felt like I was just sitting there rediscovering something like Super Metroid all over again.
And I was like happy to enjoy it as like a Metroid Fusion roller coaster. That's what I thought it was.
All Metroid needs to do is just be a good ass Metroid. It doesn't need to do any kind, like, anything that you hear about bullshit people who think they're smart and want to discourse about everything, like what you think, what they think Metroid needs to be and not to be. Metroid simply just needs to be. Just make it good. This game proves that.
I think what I told a friend was like, Metroid just needs to tell a good story and have a cool world to exist in for a while, and at some point you have to turn into a ball.
Yep.
You have to have that ability.
I love how long they keep you from having that ability.
It's so
in this
fun.
Game. It's so funny because that's always the first ability they give you, or you start with it, and they make you wait. Like if you're playing casually and you're just kind of poking around at things, it took me like 2 hours to get it.
Yeah,
and it was just like that was cute, and they starve you for it too, because there are so many areas you get to, and it's like, if I could just crawl up in here, this escape would be a lot easier.
It's really smart in this game because you can slide, so you can still get through those one-tile things.
Yeah,
but then you slide and go down a little ledge. Oh, now you're fucked because you can't ball back up.
I can't ball back in. Fuck!
She You can't crawl up ledges specifically.
Yeah.
Why can't Metroid crawl up ledges?
Why?
I was really happy to enjoy it as a Metroid Fusion linear roller coaster,
Yeah.
basically. Just like funnel me through this world. I'm having a great time. And then I finished it, and then I see all my friends like, oh, no, you can really blow this open.
Like,
And I
it's
was like,
so
that's so
smart.
cool.
Like, this game is made in such a way where, like, the critical path, by the time you get to the end, you'll have anywhere from, like, 80 to 120 missiles, but there are 275 in the game.
There's so many.
It's like, that's bonkers to me, because you would think that, like, because most Metroid games, I feel, funnel you through to where you at least get half of the power-ups. Like, I've seen people finish this game casually at, like, 23%. And it's just like, that's amazing, because that means your game is balanced super well.
Can I say, this is such an interesting thing to me. So Super Metroid, you have missiles and you have super missiles, right? At like the halfway point, missiles basically stop mattering.
Yeah.
Because you want to hit up unless the boss most you either want to hit with the boss with super missiles or you want to hit them with charged like plasma beam or something.
Yeah.
Fusion super missile is just a flat upgrade that makes your missiles 3 times stronger.
Yeah.
Which fixes that problem where you keep collecting missile tanks and they don't matter.
Yeah.
But it's a little unsatisfying.
Yeah.
It's a little like, oh, it's my new thing, but it's not actually a new thing.
Yeah.
Zero mission, super missiles are stronger, and they matter longer. And then for the super missiles, you only get 2 per pack.
Yeah.
So the super missiles are still much more strong, but you don't get as many of them as you do super. So the bosses aren't just nothing but super missiles, basically.
Yeah.
Prime, you charge missiles, and then you fire a missile, and then it uses like 5 missile tanks.
Yeah.
That's like probably my favorite approach of all of those.
It's a good approach.
Because it means that the missile tanks still matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, you get the storm missiles, and you're using like 15 missiles at a time to do these extremely dope attacks.
It's extremely dope.
It's a real fun.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
So you get to the point at the end of the game where you have an incentive to actually collect all the missile tanks.
Yeah.
The missile tanks keep mattering through the whole fucking game.
Yeah, and the way it's balanced is that, like, Storm Missile does less damage than a normal missile, but normal missiles are harder to aim. Mm-hmm. So it balances out really well. This game is unbelievably smart.
Mm-hmm. That was such a long journey, but it's just like...
I thought you were going to cut a few of those out.
No, it was a very long journey, but it's like this is...
The missile lore is important, Rhett. Shut up.
All of this is like one of the few ones where all of the power-ups feel useful.
Yeah.
Because in Fusion, when you do 100%, it's purely for its own sake.
Yeah, it's just for the number to go up.
It is just, especially those fucking power bomb tanks. They're
God!
like 2 power bomb tanks.
God!
Why? Yeah, right?
There's so few power bombs in this one because you get them so late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can get there, and, like, when you collect, like, if you've got, like, because you can collect power bomb tanks way beforehand, but they don't let you have them.
Yeah.
So, but, like, you can get there, and, like, the first one you just get 2.
Yeah,
I think on some of my runs, I've only had 3, finishing the game.
Yeah. Like, you don't need that many. Like, but you max out at 15, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is by far
Which is
more
ridiculous
than you need.
because you literally only need
That's
like
so
3.
reasonable.
You literally only need 3.
And then and you have the pulse radar, so you're not using them as an X-ray visor like in Fusion and Zero Mission.
Yeah.
When I got the pulse radar, I just went like, "Oh, thank fucking god!"
Yeah,
That's very nice.
There's a thing like this in the game.
Very good item. Was super happy to see it.
It's just so smart with how this is the one time where like Fusion literally is like it doesn't even want you to go for 100% until after you beat the final boss.
Yeah, they lock
it's
everything
purely
down
for
to
numbers.
make sure you can't.
Zero Mission
That's
makes it like a super secret hidden thing. You have to go to this one tube and bomb it, which you would only think to do if you'd played Super.
Yeah.
And then that is what opens up the 100% stuff. And again, you get power bombs like 2 screens before you fight the final boss.
Yeah.
So, this is the one where And this is the one where the final boss is really fucking hard and all of your power-ups are useful. So if you get to the final boss and it's too hard, go collect all the items.
And the game,
the
I
game
still
so
never-
organic.
I fought the final boss for like an hour. Going back was
yeah,
never an
I
option.
never thought about going back. Like what I went in with is what I finished the game with the first time,
Yeah.
and I just spent 40 minutes learning the boss, and it was fucking worth it. I loved it. Every hit mattered. Everything felt good. Like best fucking final boss of a Metroid ever.
I mean, that's what all of us did, Polly. We're hardcore parkour Metroid gamers
Yeah.
for
Oh
life.
yes.
So
I
So
will
of
say
course that's
one-
what we did. We wanted to live in that boss, but I'm saying that this is like one of the few Metroids where the 100% doesn't just feel like a numbers game.
Yeah.
It feels like something that can actually fit
Yeah.
into the shape of the story in a cool way.
Yeah.
When I did do 100% on one of my files when I had everything, I was like, wow, you actually do get a lot of health, huh?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Maybe having like an extra 300 would help on the final boss if I really needed it. One of the first times I was fighting the final boss, I actually did straight up run out of missiles.
Yeah.
Because I was using
Oh,
Storm
I
so
did.
much.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely did because I was using the storm missiles, so I
Yeah.
just kept running out of I was like conserving.
By the
missiles.
third phase, I was like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. So then I stopped using storm missiles so much,
Yeah.
and I switched over to like, all right, we're gonna get good at aiming now. Let's fucking go.
Fucking wild having like that moment that John had of like, I've got 100 missiles, and every time you do anything in this game, more like 20 more drop.
Yeah.
When am I ever going to actually run out of missiles? And then it happens
And
on
then
the
it happens in the most perfect time.
I fucking love this game.
It's so weird. I had the same arc of John of being like I finished the first time. It was like, that was a good guided roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking up the first sequence break and being like, oh, there's other stuff you can do.
Yeah, that's
and then
cute.
and then seeing how much more there is like
Yes.
built into the game or that people have like broken into. Because like, I will say the biggest knock I have against this is I think there's one boss that they actually lock you into fighting at one point. Like the second to last really big one.
Right.
Experiment.
Yeah.
If you need to go farm health and items for that one, you can't because you're locked into that area.
Yeah, you just get stuck, yeah.
So it's kind of mean to do that with one of the harder bosses.
You think Experiment is a hard boss?
No. I'm not saying I think he's a hard boss, but I think it is one of the harder ones.
I don't think that boss is hard at all. Like, that was the easiest, most scripted fight in the game for me.
I've seen a lot of rage against that boss,
Okay.
not just on our Discord. But
I've seen people like it is true that I have seen a lot of people like get really rolled by that boss, and my brain just does not understand how.
Yeah.
Because I literally beat it the second try.
I saw someone on Reset Era not get the tell for the storm missiles,
Oh wow!
so the boss kept healing.
Oh wow!
So it took them like 7 minutes to fight, and then they found out afterwards, and we're just like, oh, fuck.
Like it's such a blatant cue, but because
I thought it was really obvious
yeah,
too.
like it's super blatant.
So my dumbass though saw sequence breaking as an opportunity to make the game way harder for myself.
Yeah, obviously.
So everyone else is like, okay, here's how to get the gravity suit and screw attack super early to make the game easier. And my attempt was, okay, here's how I skip the double jump and the space.
Oh
jump.
man.
And you have to get to them by the end, but I skipped the storm missiles as soon as possible. So I got to experiment without storm missiles.
Oh, that's awesome.
And without a double jump.
Oh, baby.
So I just kind of ate shit against the
You have to
the
eat
running
shit
part.
against that, yeah. But they don't do a lot of damage,
Apparently-
it turns out.
They don't do a ton of damage, but apparently, like, you can faux double jump using the cross bombs.
Huh. Okay, I had not thought of that, but now I think about it.
I saw someone do a no-hit 0% on the final boss.
Oh, that's fucking nuts.
So they were fucking jump into the air, ball extremely quickly and cross bomb, jump up again, roll into a ball, and have the cross bombs push you up like 4 times, and then you can get over him.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, oh, yeah, I'll just eat the damage, thanks.
Yeah, that's some crazy dexterity there.
But the fact that the game has that level
That
of
option and like that is something you can
crazy.
do.
So yeah, I did a 0. I did not do a 0% run. I did a run without the double jump though.
Yeah.
Which got unbelievably hard at the very end.
Yeah, I can see a number of places that it would.
Specifically, parts where you would want to space jump and screw attack in the ending that I had to just learn how to do a bomb jump under time pressure.
Under time pressure, baby.
Oh, that's so juicy.
If you think the finale is exciting normally, do it like 20 times and still finish it like 10 seconds left. I have that shit memorized.
I have to think so at this point.
I love Metroid so much.
Oh man, Metroid's so good.
Yeah. So the fact that this game gave me like the regular roller coaster playthrough and then the break it by skipping as many items as you can playthrough was like...
That's like one of the most fun things in Zero Mission.
Yeah. It was just divine. It's so funny though, because I feel this game is like kind of the spiritual opposite of Super Metroid though. Because like, I will bring up Hollow Knight again. Like, Hollow Knight feels like the direct, like, Super Metroid is our god that we worship. We're going to make a game like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Where Metroid Fusion swung so hard in the opposite direction of being like, I am a linear action game now.
Yeah.
And then Zero Mission and then this are like, we are further refining the action game portion of Metroid.
Woo! Yeah, in a big way.
So I think as a slow-paced exploration game, Dread is literally not that.
Yeah.
But as a extremely good-feeling action game, it's like first in class. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
So like it's interesting that Metroid can have like these two games that are so fundamentally different in what they're trying to do.
Right.
And both kill it.
I think it's funny that Other M and Dread both just worship the ground that Fusion walks on.
Yeah.
For completely
different
ways.
reasons, right? Yeah. Yeah. So something
I did replay Fusion and the game's still real fucking good, y'all.
Yeah.
Something that came up when me and John were talking about how the Emmys work in this game, and something that like we thought was an interesting idea, or at least
Man.
on how like when you go into the areas where the Emmys are at, you can still pause the game, or even when they've caught you, you can still pause the game and go to the map and look around. And I really think that they missed an opportunity there. I think that they should have at the very least disabled the map. I think keeping the gameplay going would have been even better. But it's funny. The funny thing is that gonna be the dumbest comparison to make. John knows where I'm going.
Yes.
The nightmares in Mary Skelter. They completely disabled the minimap. You cannot enter a pause screen. You cannot enter a menu. You have to fucking go. You have to just like, if you don't remember where you're going, so fucking what? Figure it out.
Mary Skelter goes where Metroid was too cowardly to.
And it was something that like the more I
Thank
thought,
you, Idea Factory.
Yeah, Idea Factory did like, if there was something I would change about this game, it would literally be like disable the map and disable pause functionality if you've been seen. Even if
you want to know the one thing I would?
What would you change?
So this is the one thing that's stuck in my craw. Mm-hmm. So you know the scene with the 7th Emmy. Yeah. You know the scene right before the scene with the 7th Emmy.
Yeah.
That scene should have been way earlier. Like they introduced the idea. In that scene before the Emmy, and then immediately. Anyway, here's where that's going. Yeah. When if they just done it way earlier, then it would have been like intrigue that builds throughout the game. But instead, it's just like introduced basically right at the end. Yeah. And then pays off, and then pays off again and during the climax.
I think that's absolutely that would have been a smarter way to play that.
Mm-hmm. So that's my big. It's the shaking my fist. Dread.
It does feel weird where, like, I paused to look at the map a whole lot in the Emmy scenes.
Oh man, I just fucking run. I didn't even know anything about, like, for like the first hour or two, I didn't even know if the game stopped when you paused it in those moments, or if you'd see the map. It's just like, when I saw it, I was just, I'm out. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm going as high as I can, and if that's not the answer, I'm fucked.
Well, this was mostly on replay, so like I would have
Yeah.
a general idea of where I'm trying to go. So it's like, okay,
Sure.
I'm just gonna look at the map, figure out like
Your route, get an idea, and then go.
and then execute.
Yeah.
I think it would have been neat. There's the thing in this game where like if you press on the D-pad, it opens up a tiny version of the map,
Which is weird.
and then if you do anything, it closes. It's completely useless.
Yeah.
I think they should have stolen one thing from Hollow Knight just to have an overlay of the map
Yeah.
when that you could move around with, and then not even do the Hollow Knight thing where it makes you move super slow. Just have it a toggle
be a thing.
to have the map,
Yeah.
and then have that be the only thing you can use in the Emmy zones. You can't pause.
Like that would be fine. That would be fine. That's a good compromise.
Yeah. I think I have seen a lot of people have trouble with the Emmy zone. I think part of that is because they give you an update or the upgrade, the stealth thing.
Yeah.
It tricks you into playing those sections wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the game does not communicate some things very well.
I think it kind of does that on purpose because it's funnier to have people try to stealth through those areas and go slowly when the answer is to just fucking run.
Yeah, just run. Like, if you are in danger of being seen, like, cloaking last second has saved my ass so many times.
Yeah.
Like, it'll work. But you're not going to just, you're not just going to, like,
so good.
You're not just going to stealth walk your way through those areas.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, I think going in and stealthing is, like, the wrong way to do it, but I see people do it and, like, trying to be methodical about that when it's just fucking run.
Yeah, just go. Like, I ran like my life depended on it. Like, I did not care. It was like, fuck it.
They probably definitely did it for speedrunners. Like, I'm pretty sure the Emmy is always in the same place when you enter those areas.
No, it has a few I think that there are a few random spots that it can be, because you can get bad Emmy RNG sometimes, and like if you go in, like I've gone into it, and sometimes it's just like, oh, it's just right next to the door, and I'm fucked. Okay. But then, like, you go back in the next time, and it'll be, like, up or down somewhere in one of the other vents. Like, I think it always, like there are vents that they go in and out of.
Yeah.
That they will spawn in the immediate closest ones. And I think that each area has, like, 3 possibilities or something.
Okay. It just felt like following the critical path, it's never going to be directly where in your path if you just run.
Yeah. Like, if you just book it. Like, that's how I got away from most of them. It was like, I never stopped. I didn't stop to think about it. I didn't try to fucking play. I didn't try to dance around with it or give it an opportunity to, like, pin me down so I can knock it out. I was just like, I don't want any part of you, my dude. I'm out.
Hey, you know what's great? That literally the entire game, every time an Emmy stabbed me, I was like, oh no.
You got to do it again.
Ow. No, not even like frustration or like being sad about having to do again. Just like it just felt bad every time. It was like, ow.
Oh, that probably really sucks.
Oh no! It didn't like scare me, but there was an unease to it for the whole game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it definitely, like, because it's like they're so faceless and mechanical. There's an unfeeling aspect to it. It's just kind of like this being this mechanical thing that is routine to happen. Like, you will be pinned to the ground and you will be fucking lanced, and you have there's no feeling behind this at all. It's just, this is the inevitability.
Yeah.
God.
It's funny how long we talked about the game. Emmy.
Yeah,
we talked about the game for. I think they feel kind of inconsequential.
Yeah.
To the overall thing, like what's actually great about that game, and it's not the areas that you dash through to get through them as quick as possible.
I still really like the Emmys.
I still feel like
okay.
I know that I bitched about it a lot last time with all the timing thing and everything, but it's just like I'm to the point now where I never see that cutscene now because I'm just good at evading them at this point.
Yeah,
like I just
book it.
Yeah.
I had a thought in relation to that whole discussion of the parry, was that I think that the idea was that they did not want the parry to be something you could do consistently, because they thought that would make it less scary.
Well, it would make it less scary, and it would, like, if it's something you can pin down to a science and do every time, then these sections become like completely inconsequential.
Yeah, but if you couldn't do the parry at all, then once it caught you, it's like, well, that's it. Yeah. Instead, there's that moment for me of like every time I like press the button, I was like, did I make it? Did I make it? Did I make it? Oh
no, of course not.
It's so funny when you're really early.
Tension. Yeah, right.
it's so funny when you do it way too early and Samus just flails her arm out into
Fucking
nothing.
whiffs. Just whiffs it.
I finally saw that and then realized I've been doing it way too late every single time.
Well, it's because the way they
you're
tell
trying to-
you, they tell you to do it when the light flashes, and it's already too late if you're waiting for when the light flashes. So they add like
It's
that's
so
actual
extra.
that's actual miscommunication there on their part.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
again, the game is kind of communicates a couple of things badly, I think.
The window is so short that if you are not like already physically in that motion of pressing
Yeah.
button, it's not going to get there in time if you're actually waiting for
The
the
light.
light to hit your eye.
Yeah.
The speed of light is too
Like
slow.
literally, especially with TV delay though.
Yeah.
like
yeah.
the delay from C flash press button input go in. You know,
Yeah. Like
you're never going to make
you're
that in
not
2
gonna get
frames.
that, no. I don't
very
begrudge
fun.
it anymore. I get it at this point.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't begrudge it at all.
Yeah.
Right now.
But yeah, I finished that 100% of Metroid Dread, and then I pulled up my DS and I played all of Metroid Zero Mission and all of the original Metroid and all of Fusion. Really fucking good because those are all the ones I could easily play on my GBA.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
you were talking like
good.
Metroid Prime, and I'm just like, oh man, I really want to replay Metroid Prime at this point.
I'm replaying Metroid Prime. It's really good, Polly.
Yeah, I like that game a lot.
Mm-hmm. So Prime was the one I never like played much as a kid. I finally did play it, and then I like as like a teenager and was like, this sucks. There's too much backtracking. Not just with the artifacts at the end, but just like constantly throughout. It'll be like, okay, you got halfway through this area.
Now go all the way
collect
back
that-
to the Norfair area. Just like,
Yeah, and collect this
oh,
other thing, and then go
God.
back and
Yeah.
like. I don't know if it's just very much not the straight roller coaster. It's more like in Prime, your relationship with the world kind of keeps spiraling outwards
Yeah.
as the game progresses
Yeah.
right up to the very end.
Yeah.
Whereas these other ones, they kind of funnel you through.
Yeah.
Even Super like funnels you like once you get to Wreck Ship, it's like Wreck Ship, Meridia, Lower Norfair, Torian.
Like it's a very like this game like it is still like when you kind of look back at like I know that like that kind of game and being able to produce that kind of game at that scale, I know that it's not something that we're unfamiliar with now, but at the time like we'd not done something like that. Like Metroid bringing that to 3D was such a scary perspective, and as somebody that like resisted that game at first because I just kind of like I could not wrap my mind around the idea of Metroid being in a 3D world. It just seemed too overwhelming. You know, it took me a while to kind of cozy up to that and be like, oh man, they actually were like way fucking super smart and ahead of their time with what they were doing with that game
Absolutely.
to make exploration work and still feel like recognizable as a Metroid game.
It just feels fantastic.
Yeah.
Like like everything about it, all the things with the physicality of Samus's suit are so cool. Like the fog and the
Oh,
and
that shit's so
her face
cool.
flash when the charge shot is against a wall. Like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah, that's
It's so
then-
funny visual effects
yeah.
like that holding up like 15 years later.
I know.
Yeah, it absolutely
More
holds up. It is so wild to me that they launched Metroid Prime and Fusion on the same fucking day.
That's insane. I wonder if they were trying to do that with Prime 4 and Dread.
And Dread, that would have been what?
Didn't they announce Samus Returns and Prime 4 around at the same time?
They were close.
It was like very close. Was announcing those around the same time.
Prime 4
Which
might
is
have been
very
first.
funny.
Yeah, Prime 4 was definitely first.
That's even weirder.
But Prime 4 was literally announced and all they had was a logo. And they literally didn't know what they were doing and were actually just starting to hire staff for it. And now
They
they've
didn't know
apparently...
who were developing it.
And now they've like scrapped it twice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot
It's
of
so-
hope for Prime 4.
Yeah.
It's so funny though that in the end, at the very start of the Switch lifespan, they promised Metroid and they fucking delivered it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yep.
They delivered it in the way that I don't think even they thought that it was going to happen.
And guess what? I always like 2D Metroid more, so I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm-
yay!
Yeah.
I'm pretty content with this.
Yeah. Like, I'm yeah. Like, I love
I
Metroid
wanna-
Prime,
I wanna-
but like this
I
is...
want to think through Prime 2. I want to revisit Prime 2 and Prime 3 and maybe kind of give those another rethink. At least Prime 2.
2 is
I think.
just... I can't...
Okay, so
Two-
I've seen
Go
some
ahead, Red.
defenses of 2 that would extremely tickle John's fancy.
Mm.
2 starts out as by far the most inhospitable
Oh yeah,
location of
absolutely.
any of the games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
For-
it is
Go ahead.
it is the most like fuck you, fuck the player
Yeah.
of the games, because like not only do you have like, winding world that doesn't want to let you into the areas, and then you also have to juggle the light and dark worlds.
Yep.
So like the critical path just makes no sense in your brain,
Yeah,
because it is just insane amounts of locking and key gating, and
Yeah.
then having to map between 2 different worlds.
Where one of them, the atmosphere kills you.
Yeah.
And it's the only game with like forced, Norfair runs.
And
Until other
and it has the Boost Ball Guardian, the worst boss in a video game ever. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that ball. It's so bad.
Prime 2 is until like Federation Force came out, Prime 2 was the only Metro game I hadn't finished. I was like,
Yeah.
I did play through Prime 3. I played through Prime 3 first. I played through Prime 3 before I
Really?
beat Prime 1. I remember fucking nothing about it.
Yeah, it's kind of just washes
Yeah.
over.
I think
you.
I think it might be a little but I was like, but I also kind of want to replay it anyway.
Yeah. So the defense of Prime 2 goes that it starts off like incredibly hostile to the player, and then by the end you just feel like total badass once you have all the items and don't have
Yeah.
to do constant light world, dark world bullshit, because you can just actually use the doors that are in the game.
Yeah.
Because
A
they aren't,
wild concept.
I know, but I think it's interesting.
No,
Like,
I think
they
it's
describe-
smart. I think it's like it's a good. It wasn't fun. I liked
Yeah.
the thing that I liked about 2 was that they weren't afraid to like give the actual combat encounters some balls. Like the
Yeah.
combat encounters were super fucking satisfying.
It seems like Prime 2's big thing is just being really fucking hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
and I think
hard.
that's cool.
Like, it's like staring at a puzzle box and making those first few steps are just agonizing.
Like Antechamber in a way.
Maybe.
You want to know why I want to play through Prime 2? Because it has a giant, intense, really hard boss fight, multi-stage boss fight against the Ing Emperor.
Yep,
and
Ing
then
Emperor.
and then an escape sequence, and then
Yep.
during the escape sequence, you have to fight Dark Samus.
Yep.
I
So I like-
fucking died during the Dark Samus fight, and I was just like,
Oh!
I just wanted like
I would cry.
game.
Oh, I would cry.
Yes! That's
Yeah, I
what
think-
I'm here for.
I think
Know
the
what they
final
can cheer me
area of
up.
Prime 2 is like my favorite of the trilogy. Like
I
the
can see
Sanctuary
that.
Fortress.
Yeah,
is
Sanctuary
fucking rad.
Fortress is cool. Yeah.
Everyone is like, Prime 2 is bad, but Sanctuary Fortress
Yeah.
is so good.
It's a
and the
real
boss
good-
of that one is really
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
I feel I also this is so funny, but I saw the clip of Samus walking away into the light and doing the little wave at the end, and I'm like, fuck, that's cool.
Yeah.
Fuck, Samus is cool.
Samus is cool, and that's another thing Dredd does very well. It gets a
Samus
point.
is so cool.
It
in
gets
Dread.
it gets the point across that she is a fucking
Yeah.
badass.
Somebody mentioned it. Okay, this is kind of like slight spoilers for Dread's story if anyone still cares about that point.
Yeah.
You play as Samus in that game, and that's not an actual twist, but it could have been.
Yeah.
The way you have like the X or this, this organism that copies and
Yeah.
metric vision you have.
Yeah.
So, like, but the problem is if they had done you weren't actually playing as Samus twist, it would have undone all her characterization of being badass.
Yeah. I'm
They
glad they
couldn't
didn't
have
go that
actually
route.
done it in this game. Maybe in the next one they could pull that off because Samus is cool again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they literally couldn't have done it in this game because they are working so hard to wash
Redeem
away
Samus.
Wash
Other
away
M,
some. Yeah. Like.
where she is so lame.
Yeah. The thumbs down, man. That's what I was known
I was
for.
known for giving the
I was
thumbs
known
down.
for it. That's my thing. God.
What if she'd done that in this one?
She would have done it cool in this one. If
Yeah,
she gave
it would have
Trey the
been really
thumbs
cool.
down.
It would have been really cool.
Could you imagine? You beat the game, she gives Ravenbeak a thumbs down.
Oh God! I just shit my pants.
Like, I trust this game enough that they would have made it work in a
Yeah,
funny way.
absolutely.
But having her narrate, I was known for giving the thumbs down. It was just,
I'm glad they didn't conjure the specter of Other M in any way.
Oh no, they just stayed the hell away from it entirely.
Still one of the bonus arts you get.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Ridley fighting Ridley.
Of course.
The most iconic scene from Other M.
Yeah.
I mean,
What else would it be? Yeah.
what else would it be?
What else?
Guy in a tractor trailer. Don't you fight a forklift in that game?
Yeah, you fight a fucking forklift in Other M.
Samus versus the Nightmare in Other M.
Oh,
Samus
God.
versus the Metroid Queen in Other M.
Oh my God.
Samus versus Phantoon.
Fan
That's the
fucking
moment.
Yeah.
Toon.
I'm just kind of realizing that every notable boss is just from other game.
Which was what makes it so dope that this game has exactly one fan service boss, and it's not like a mainstay.
It's
Yeah.
not Ridley.
Yeah.
It's not fucking Ridley.
I was waiting for that shoe to drop the entire fucking game. I was just like, when are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it. You're gonna.
I feel like because they got it out of their system in the previous game they made.
Thank God. Yeah.
Okay, but having taken a game off, 10-1 odds. Ridley's in the next one, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know what the
In the
story...
next Mercury Steam was.
All we
In the
know
next
at this
Mercury Steam
point is that this is apparently the end of the Metroid saga. Whatever that means, we know that Metroid's like the Metroid's role, and I hope like the Space Pirates and Ridley, like let's start over and do something cool and new. I hope
I
that
feel
they
like
do.
I feel like trying to speculate about Ridley in the next game is weird because we have no idea what possible form the story takes. Where they're just like, oh, it's not even called Metroid anymore.
Also, the story is very good in Dread, by the way.
Yep.
It's very good.
Yep. Barring that one moment that I touched on earlier, I think it's delivered basically perfectly.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my God, the final boss is such a good villain.
Oh,
Such a good goddamn villain.
God! Oh, man.
They do a lot of heavy lifting without a whole lot getting in the way.
Yeah.
I love that there's the wait to do the lore drop for like 5 hours. It's like, okay, you believe that this is Metroid now, so now we can flex a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It's just like, there's not a whole lot of like exposition cutscenes. They just do the bare minimum, really.
Yeah. That it doesn't need... this game knew exactly what it needed to do and how much it needed. God damn. Now I want to go play it.
Metroid.
Fuck!
I love Metroid. I want to go play more Prime. I love Metroid so much.
Cool.
Is that a podcast?
I think that is...
I think that...
We've ended two podcasts in a row on a lot of Metroid love. You love to see it. How cool is it? How cool is it that in 2021 we get to say, man, we just played a fucking really good Metroid game, and it was new. We didn't just replay Super Metroid or something. We literally played a new Metroid game, and it was real fucking good. Oh, it does so much good for the old worn out soul, let me tell you. Part of me is just like, man, Evil Otto, come take me now. The other half is just like, man, I could just go play more Metroid Dread.
Throwback. All the way.
How you do it? I haven't been doing this 7 years for nothing. John Thayer, where can the internet folks at home find you?
farawaytimes.itch.io. By the way, I also I put Atop the Witch's Tower, which is still one of my favorite games I've worked on, into the Zeta emulator, so you can just easily play it in your browser. There isn't any
fancy
kind of
pants.
DOSBox emulating.
Oh, nice.
It is as easy as
Click on a
Pico
link.
8 or Bitsy now, basically.
Very
just
nice.
dropped it in the chat.
Very nice.
So go give it a play. I like that game.
I will endorse that game because the block pushing puzzle didn't annoy me. There you go.
Which is wild because it is a little hard.
It is. Yeah, you got to make a couple of special moves there. Mm-hmm. Rhett!
I'm looking at the latest Metroid Dread speed tech, and they're skipping the Varia suit now.
What?
And I'm seeing the player just walk through normal enemies, so I don't know what's going on anymore.
I follow somebody that speedruns this game. I'm gonna have to check in on him later.
I gotta show you.
Yeah, you gotta show me that too. Yeah. Yeah, Rhett's just like Sinfo Gear, whatever. Go do that. Yep.
I will say, all the Samus being badass in this one did make me think of Hibiki.
What? Oh my god!
Because the Varia suit in this is like orange and white, and and she punches enemies, and I was just like, yeah, give her a scarf, take the mask off.
Oh my god!
Basically Hibiki.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
very Rat. The end in this game is basically just Heaven's Feel, so I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking
basically.
about.
There you go.
It's basically just the same.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. It's Devil May Cry 3.
Well, she is. She does. I did keep comparing her to Dante.
She's very Dante in this game.
She's very Dante in this game. It rules.
Without the quips. She doesn't need to quip to make it work. Like, she's just got the swag.
Exactly. So go play Metroid Dread because it is Simple Gear, Heaven's Feel, and Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah,
in
like,
one.
Extremely
package.
Sockscast approved.
Yeah, like, this may be the most Sockscast approved a game has been for a long time.
It's the most quickly a new
Yeah,
game.
Yeah,
like, a new
quickly,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, when a new game got that.
Undertale.
Undertale, yeah.
Undertale.
What was the last AAA game that got this treatment?
Nier Automata?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah,
Nier
I still took
Automata.
a while to get to that one, I think.
Yeah. Whew. All right. But yeah, like I said, right now is the time when you want to start going ahead and start thinking about your Game of the Year list, because next episode we will be telling you how to get that stuff to us. It'll be 3 games, and you'll say a bit about each one. It's the same that we always do. So be sure to get into your mindset of getting all that ready, because we'll be announcing it next time. So thanks again, everybody, for coming out. Thanks for listening. All that good, fuzzy, warm feeling stuff. We always appreciate it. We love you guys a lot. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We are the only ones that love you. And that's a show. Let me get us out of here. I'm going to go find someone to host. And we just go get on up out of here, because I'm very hungry.
I am too.
I still got a grip of chicken in there that I have not touched. I only had a couple of pieces before starting, because I started making food late, and I was like, oh no, I'm not going to get this done in time. So I was only able to have a couple all right. You know what? My friends over at Retro Gaming Live TV, they're doing a Halloween marathon going into the night. I don't know what they're playing right now, but it's probably spoopy. Go say hi to them. They're always putting on great shows and events. Give them a follow. Send them your love, and we will catch you folks next. Wait a minute. No, wait. I just want to copy the name. There. No, not the link, you dumbass. Copy. Boom. There we go. Join that raid. We'll catch you next time, folks. Much love. We up out.